And welcome everyone back to Nerd TV's broadcast for the Full Throttle Sim Racing Mach-1 Performance Cup Series. As we're on race number 2 of 10 for the playoff season, aka 2023C. This time live from the simulated Kansas Speedway, where the FTSR Mach-1 guys are going to take 167 laps around this speedway. Track temp 100 degrees. Weather in the sky is 79, so being 21 degrees difference, we're going to see that track temp cool off as the day progresses. 48% humidity, cloudy, and 13-mile-an-hour winds, so that might actually play a little factor there. I see some guy cut really low on the apron there. The turn 1 on our back end screen there, but my name is Jeremy Stanley, aka Jay Swifty. To my right-hand side, birthday boy tomorrow in America, Jason Rockefeller. How you doing?
Yeah, absolutely, man. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I'm ready to get some Kansas racing done here tonight, but obviously, condolences, thoughts, prayers go out to the families and victims involved in the September 11th attacks. Me being born the day after obviously isn't the best feeling, but everybody I know before me, like you guys, I'm sure all remember where you were, as most people say. On 9/11. So there's Dustin. There he is. What's up, Walt? Having a good time tonight. But yeah, man, I mean, what a race this is going to be tonight. To say the least, the last Kansas race that we had here was by far, and I said this last week on the show, was my favorite race I've called probably over at Nerd TV by far. The racing, the multi-groove, the drama, I mean, the heartbreak, literally the heartbreak for Robert Milikian with 2 laps to go coming to the white. The dominating performance by, from Fury Motorsports. There's so many factors that go into it tonight. And then you put playoffs on the line here, it's going to be a show.
Playoffs? Talking about playoffs?
Oh, yeah, we are.
I guess it's that season, man, yeah. I know it's point season, too, but I want to give a shout-out to one of the strongest teams that we see here each year. Moreau Motorsports coming through here with Jonathan Vachon, Matthew Vachon, Nicholas Moreau, and of course the new guy that we saw last week, Denny LaFleur. FNM Esports is their new team name. So, but look who's on top of the board. Dustin, what do you have him nicknamed as?
Rocket Man Moreau.
There it is. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean that's not a surprise to us to see him on top of the boards. But Walter, Dustin, whatever you go by these days. How's it going over there?
It's going pretty good. It like I said, I agree 110% with Jason. I mean, this track here is becoming slowly one of my favorite tracks to run on, one of my favorite tracks to watch, broadcast, produce, whatever you want to call it. I mean, it always puts on some amazing racing throughout, multi-groove. You took me back, Jason. I mean, literally took me back to the heartbreak of, and that's where the name started coming for Robert Milikian, was the Heartbreak Kid. I root for him every week, and, there's weeks where just wrong place, wrong time, it just doesn't work out. He'll get there, though, but I expect some good racing, hard racing, 2, 3 wide. You're going to see it all here. I mean, we got a stacked field. 35 drivers right now at Kansas. This is gonna be awesome.
That's also the most we've ever had recently in recent competition here in Mach-1, if I'm correct, Jeremy.
Yeah, it really has been. I think the past, I have to go back and do some research, but I think the past average has been 20 to 25. Correct me if I'm wrong. So to see 35, I mean, of course, we have FNM now in here, but that's only plus 4 drivers. So we're seeing some extra guys that have not been here showing up toward the later half of the season, which I love to see this. I have to actually scroll on my SDK live timing here to figure out where everyone's at. I enjoy that.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting to see tonight. There's so many heavy hitters, obviously. Some guys, too, coming over from the Truck Series to run tonight as well. One driver who stuck out to me was Justin Diltz. I know usually he runs the Truck Series a lot. I believe he's part-time in this series, if I'm correct. Obviously, I'm getting to that age quite literally tomorrow where I'm going to start forgetting some things. But, I mean, there's a lot of guys in here who are just really heavy hitters. Brandon Elder's back in the Cup car again this week. Rob Tracy's back as well. Chad Lang. Chris
This
Beck
man
again.
here acting like he's
you know,
old as hell.
Oh my God! All right, don't get me started. You get what I'm saying. But hey, one driver before we get going for qualifying here in just a second. One driver I want to say that I have my eye on today, and he's not really doing that well in practice, but I'm sure he'll get used to it because he was almost able to conquer the track known as Too Tough to Tame last week. That would be Jose Acosta, continuing his extremely impressive runs early on into his FTSR career here. We couldn't talk to him last week because he said Mike died, with a nice formulated sentence to me and to Jeremy. But man, he's going to be really fast tonight. He led a lot of laps last week. Unfortunately, came home third, I believe it was, or second maybe. I'm not too sure. I'll have to look back on that. But he's going to be a driver I am definitely looking to see head his way up through the field if and when his qualifying run happens.
Yeah, doing it all by himself, lone guy on his team, and just continuing to perform really quickly. He's only been here for a few races now, and really surprised and glad to see the 24 run so well. But we're going to get our faces off your guys' screen. We're going to kick it onto the roof camera of the guy we've seen so many times last year. That's number 15, Nicholas Moreau. He's coming off turn number 4 to start the green flag lap.
Yeah, this guy, Rocket Man Moreau, obviously we have not seen him in months, but boy, every time we see both him or his brother, the Moreau brothers are always fast, but Nicholas being the only one of the Moreaus here tonight, he's definitely going to have a, no pun intended, rocket ship underneath the hood of that number 15 machine, no doubt about it. I mean, just what else can you really say besides the fact that this guy is always fast, has real racing obligations, and also, runs some other leagues. They got a strong team behind him, and within himself too. I expect this number 15 to probably be the head of the competition tonight.
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree with you there. Expect him at least top 5 to top 10. I mean, if he really has been strong on the real life stuff. We don't know how long it's been since he's been behind a sim racing wheel, so we'll see if there's any cobwebs to shake off here as we're going to complete lap number 2. Ran a 31 flat his first lap out, comes across the line, and he improves by 7/10 almost, 30.377. Still keeps him, well, actually I got to refresh my page here. Looks like it's going to actually put him P1 on the board here if I'm looking at that correctly, so by a whole 1/10 of a second, beats the number 25 Stephen Hollingsworth out of the 17 guys who've put down lap time so far.
Yeah, and obviously Nick too. His last race when it came actually to running in the Mach-1 Performance Cup Series, going back and looking at the FTSR stat sheet, was at Kansas. Started second, finished 22nd. Said he disconnected, so I'm assuming something must have happened there. But then when you go back and look at his previous 2 finishes, a 4th at Richmond after starting 1st, and a 1st after starting 6th back at Circuit of the Americas back on March 27th. So I think it's safe to say that Nicholas Moreau is looking to get his 11th career FTSR win here this evening. And he's going to be very strong. And another driver who's going to be strong for sure is going to be Brody Hanna here in this number 23 machine. Basically all of Fury, because they were very stocked, locked, loaded, ready to go. Last time we were at Kansas, Richie Coy won that race. And we know how much Brody Hanna loves these mile and a halves, but I'm sure he didn't like it right there when he headed off 2 and into the wall.
Hit the wall on lap 1 and lap 2, so is not allowed to post a qualifying time. We're going to switch it over to the 27, Ryan Chapman, one of our iRock 93.5 cockpit cameras here, and he's running the low line here. We saw Brody Hanna try the high side there through 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. It's Kansas. You're progressively banked. You can choose whether you want to go high or low. It all depends on where you built that setup. We saw Nicholas Moreau. He did it on the top side of the track. But Mr. Chapman electing to go to the bottom. Oh, we see the 84 of Jamie Knopp here as Ryan gets to the line. He's going to take over that 15.
Really impressive then for Jamie Knopp. He's another driver who's in the playoffs. 4th coming into tonight, only 27 back from that points lead. So I think Jamie's definitely going to be one to look out for. Ryan Chapman, though, definitely is going to want to get back up on the horse compared to last week after a basically abysmal Darlington race for both him and also Joshua Johnson. They find themselves at the bottom of the playoffs at 15th and the 16th seed, minus 11 points out. We'll see how he does, but here he is, the Heartbreak Kid, trying to redeem himself with a Kansas victory tonight. Last time we were here, into 3, 2 laps to go on the outside with the race lead. Unfortunately, did some wall glue, as Jeremy likes to say. So maybe we'll see this number 22 machine get to victory lane tonight for the first time.
And he's up his qualifying game if he's going to make it there. 31.114 puts him 19th on the board here as qualifying does come to a close. And now it's time to get ready to go down the starting order for tonight's Kansas 250. Quickly dump into the chats while the guys are getting onto the track. Doyle Lawrence took the week off, I guess, last week. Said he had some really late work. He missed the race. And then good evening back to you, Mr. Doyle. And of course, he's rooting for that number 31, Jeff Chandler, part of the 2023 playoffs here for the FTSR Mach-1 Performance Cup Series. And a little inside information, too. I guess Jeff's got a really good setup. But he's going to be very conservative, so don't expect him to be out to the front super early. But looks like most cars are on the grid. And to go down the running order here is we're going to go old school down the rows here. Jamie Knopp in 84 are going to start P1. Nicholas Moreau, 15, is going to start in second place. Stephen Hollingsworth will start in third. Ben Tracy with an excellent qualifying start will be in fourth. Daniel Simmons in fifth. Jeff Chandler, we just talked about him, starts in sixth. Lane Allen, seventh. Chris Beck in the 44 will be in 8th, Danny LaFleur 9th, and TJ Bartel rounds out tonight's top 10.
Top 20, last Kansas winner, Richie Coy, Kyle Milliken in the 42 Martini Rossi machine. Then you have 13th and 14th goes to Michael Blackner. Wayne Grassi in his 7 Shell Pennzoil machine, as always. 15th and 16th, looking to have a great run after an abysmal race last week. Ryan Chapman, and then the return, Matthew Vachon sitting there in 16th, and Jonathan Vachon 17th. With then you also have Tony Solari in 19th, and Robert Malikian in the 20th spot.
Justin had to back out that camera so he didn't get hit by other cars. But 21st is Stephen Loomis. 22nd is Chad Lang. 23rd place will be Joshua Johnson. 24th, Jose Acosta. 25th, James Wallace. 26th place, Ryan Hedrick. 27th, Brian Dublé. 28th place will be the 6th of James Torrey. 29th, Brandon Elder. 30th, Sherwood Williford. 31st, Justin Diltz. 32nd, you're going to find the 23 of Brody Hanna, 33rd, Alan DeRonco, 34th, Colton Gum, and Alan Crowell in that 41 will be rounding out tonight's 35-car lineup here. Excellent numbers here on the later half of the 2023 season in general. Second race of the 2023 C section, and as well as the playoffs. And it's round 2 of 3 for the round of 16. Pace car is down. You see heavy cloud coverage still looming this track, except for maybe turn 1 right now. And green flag is out. The 84 of Jamie Knopp just takes a whole car length advantage well before the green flag is out. And it's a pretty equal start within tonight's top 5 here. We see some movement already through the field, going through turn 1 right now. 25 shifts up a lane, almost wants to hit the 15's door panel. 15's going to get a good launch here off turn number 2. Has to check up, actually too strong of a run. And they're stringing out here down the back straightaway.
And Knopp with the race lead. Here comes Hollingsworth down to the inside of Nick Moreau. And Moreau is going to wrap that middle lane, trying to clear Hollingsworth off turn number 4. Not enough. Jamie Knopp is going to lead the first lap, all while trying to hold Nick Moreau off in the draft. Hollingsworth and him still side by side in a 1.
84 leads about 2 car links here over the 25 and 15. 15 once more has to do a big checkup there on corner exit, just running a little tight when he's got a car in front of him, causing that little bit of a dirty air. Takes the downforce off, makes you slide up a little bit. So he's going to have to combat that by not running directly behind their competition here. A lot of the cars so far early on are going to be running the bottom half of this track, but you watch out. 10, 15, 20 laps from now, it's going to be a completely different story. A lot of 2x2 still going into 1.
Multi-groove racing, Jeremy, that's the thing. You can run top, you can run middle, you can run bottom, especially when the tires wear out. But when the tires are as fresh and clean as they are, a little bit of contact there down the back straightaway almost between Blackner and Beck off turn number 2. Looked like the 87 just got a little bit loose, kind of door checked the 44. No harm, no foul. But with these fresh and clean new Goodyear Eagles, these guys are looking for every single piece of track position they can here on lap 4.
Battle on track for top 5 right now. The 31 of Jeff Chandler fighting the outside of the 8 Ben Tracy here on a corner exit, choked up by Daniel Simmons. Not exactly able to complete the pass on the 8 of Ben Tracy coming to 3. Ben's going to run back to the bottom. We see the 87 Michael Blackner continuing to run that Kyle Larson line way up at the top half of the track up against that white wall. Down the front straightaway here, the 31 clears Ben Tracy. Now he's going to pass the 06 of Daniel Simmons and Doyle Lawrence. Hey, this looks pretty conservative.
And yeah, the 31 definitely not looking as very, very conservative. He looks a little aggressive right now, but in a good way. That's going to make Jeff Chandler jump 2 spots in just almost 5 laps put up on the board. Now he's looking to go to the bottom of Hollingsworth. That's going to be the battle for 3rd place up on the podium. They come to the line this time. Back behind them, Danny LaFleur, Ben Tracy, side by side at the line this time.
The outside starting to prevail as the line to be in right now. Ben's just kind of choked up on the inside there. Gets a great center, but when he gets to corner exit, he just has to lift more and allows that momentum just to be carried. 14 right behind them, going to get a huge launch over the 19 Richie Coy coming through turns 3 and 4 right now. Hollingsworth there in 3rd place moves up a lane onto the top side of 2nd place. Nicholas Moreau trying to get 2nd place back for himself.
He's trying the best he can. Heck, he might even go to the race lead right here. He's looking to the inside of Jamie Knopp. Knopp's going to slam the door on him. Just not enough momentum into 1 for Moreau, but now Moreau finds himself side by side yet again with his best friend for the past 7 laps, that being Stephen Hollingsworth. And down the back straightaway, Moreau tries his side drift into 3. He'll show down in there.
Still trying to make the pass happen here. I think momentarily the 15 will have him, but will the outside prevail for the 25? Coming across the line, they're gonna actually the 15 of Moreau is going to be on the inside of the 84 Jamie Knopp, who had a slow corner exit there, moves really far up the track, and the 15 of Nicholas Moreau hasn't led the lap this time around, but if he holds this spot here, he's going to get it. But the 25 of Hollingsworth, great charge, gets to the bumper and does not make a dive move to the inside. He's going to hold the outside lane here, coming through 3 and 4. Nicholas Moreau for the first lead change this evening.
What a great lead change, but what a disappointing end to that result there for Jamie Knopp. Not only is he going to go to 1st, he's going to go all the way back to 5th, possibly 6th here in just a lap. He's got Daniel Simmons right on his back bumper, Ben Tracy there working the outside, and then, not to mention the fact that that's the last Kansas race winner, Richie Coy, right there waiting in the wings. He's up 3 spots already from where he started, so very, very racy sort of style up here at the front so far, Jeremy.
Really enjoying this right here. The 25 almost hits the outside wall coming off corner exit there. Alongside is the 31 of Jeff Chandler. Puts himself in 2nd place. I think he threw that conservative message out the window for Doyle. He's under attack now, or going for the attack rather, for the race lead.
What a strong performance by not only the 31, but Danny LaFleur as well, back and forth, trying to battle with Stephen Hollingsworth to the inside of him. You ride from the back bumper of Moreau, who has a very, very fast Jeff Chandler number 31 machine closing in on the back bumper past the start-finish line. Lap 11 gets up on the board now. Jeff Chandler trying to look for a way around Moreau into 1.
Track temperature down 5 degrees already from the start of tonight's race. Only 11 laps into this thing, and that's because of the cloud coverage here as we got the roasted gems. Weather on your screen on the top left-hand side, the wind's about the same, the air temp's the same, still cloudy, but that track temp, it's actually picked up 1 degree since the sun came back out, but still 4 degrees cooler. It'll continue that trend here, and the 25 of Hollingsworth is starting to slip up a little bit more as now he is under fire here, coming through turns 1 and 2 for Jamie Knopp. So 25 of Hollingsworth still remains in 4th place, I guess, right now. Trying to get anything he can off corner exit, but it looks like we have a wreck in the back potentially. Heard the 17 come over the radio and say there's a wreck, but I still see no caution. We stay green.
It looks like possibly he is losing a lot of position. So is Matthew Vachon. Those cars are really, really off the pace. You look at Vachon currently in that number 26 machine. He has heavy front end damage to the nose of his Chevy Camaro and down the front straightaway.
No.
Oh, yeah, he is very off the pace. I believe that all started out of turn 1 and into 2. We'll have to see if we can get a replay of that later on.
Yeah, 27, Ryan Chapman, one of our IROC 93.5 cockpit cameras. 1 and 2 got really loose in turn 2, hit the wall, overcorrected, hit the wall pretty hard. And then the 26 just came through and just drilled square into the rear end of the 27. And we're going to go to the Nerd TV replay and check that out. You see him already slow right there, but if we can go with that little VHS rewind, we can possibly see exactly what happened there on the back straightaway.
Yeah, and this is not the kind of night. Here we go. There's the VHS rewind that Dustin or Walter's given us. You see right here, heading into 1 and
26.
2, going to take a look back at the 26. And right here, yep, there it is. You see the 27 loose right in front. Boom! Nowhere to go for Matthew, unfortunately. He just gets right into the back. And I tell you what, not only is that going to be very, very heavy damage to the 26 machine, that could very well take him multiple laps to fix, possibly even halfway through this race, just because of how hard that contact was with the front end. And then back on Ryan Chapman's end, man, he hit that wall a ton on the right side, the right front, and then the rear contact from Matthew Vachon. This is not the night that Ryan Chapman needed. 2 poor starts here in the playoffs so far.
We're going to take the race into the whiteboard on the 26, Matthew Vachon. He has backed out of the race and the server manually disconnected. So it's going to put him dead last, 35th place. Not the way you want to come back to the league racing here at FTSR. Only a handful of laps into this race, and that's just tough there. But yeah, especially the 27 of Mr. Chapman coming to this race. He was 11 points below the cut line. And, well, this is, if you can't get that thing repaired too much, this is going to really drop him because we have 35 cars now. That's a lot more than what we've seen recently. So you got to be a little more concerned on where you finish this race.
Definitely, not to say the least, but also not to mention that we have a stage caution where the top 10 drivers will be awarded stage points just at lap 55. So that's going to hurt Ryan Chapman if he can't get there, which is very, very likely that he will not. But, you know, this is just presenting more opportunities for guys who want to try to put themselves in a more comfortable position above the cutoff line. The more drivers in the playoffs that have issues, the more points that they have to try to take. So drivers like Wayne Grossi, Brody Hanna, Robert Malikian, and others, that just means a good thing for them. They want to see as many playoff drivers have issues as they can to get those points.
Almost a little 3-wide action here just outside your top 10 right now. It's kind of settled down. The 44 Chris Beck on the inside here of the 88, the 87. The 7's coming up pretty strong here. And Stephen Hollingsworth, who just continues to slip back, has now found himself 10th place that last time at the start-finish line on lap 19. They quickly go to 2 and now single file here for the most part, other than them scattering across this field. Which is very common of Kansas. We've said it multiple times, and we'll say it again. And then Doyle Lawrence back on the chat saying, well, I think Jeff dropped back a bit to save the tires. Well, I think you might be correct. He's still underneath the second. He's only 0.9 away from the race leader 15, Nicholas Moreau. But he finds himself in 5th place, not second. So maybe just kind of in that ride along here for a little bit moment.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, this track, once you do get going, obviously eats up tires, no doubt about it. You can just see right there with the lack of grip from the 87 of Michael Blackter. He got into the wall briefly in the center of 3 and 4, was able to keep it out of the wall and out of, you know, more trouble. But, you know, no harm, no foul. So might have to take a look at that when he does come into the pits whenever they do. But yeah, definitely tire conservation is key. That's why you're going to see a lot of guys primarily running that bottom. But if they feel like they're faster, they will sacrifice some tire life to go to the top lane. You will use up more tire running any lane further from the bottom. So, Kyle Milliken sideways in front of the field. He's able to save it. Wow, what a heck of a save out of the 42. Chad Lang nearly turned him there, going off turn 4, but he was able to make one incredible save.
Yeah, as Dustin, our producer, quickly caught that in real time. So now you hit the VHS button, a little rewind action here. And I'm going to go slow-mo with the unofficial Nerd TV replay here. Going to look off the rear bumper. The 4 there, Chad Lang just slips up the track. Hits the back bumper of the 42 Malikian. Thankfully, he was able to save that thing. Big heads-up driving by Malikian to not crash the thing or Milliken. I said that wrong. It's the first time I've done that in several weeks, so whoopsies there. But yeah, great save by the 42 nonetheless. And now we're almost 3 wide here. Still with the 4. You got to be a little cautious now with him on the inside bumper.
Hey, it could be worse. You couldn't be me calling Robert Milliken Milliken for weeks and vice versa. But hey, that's no harm, no foul for you. But look at this right now. You want to talk about a harm and a foul? That would be Stephen Hollingsworth, man. Look at how much he has dropped throughout this field. And he's right in pretty much the middle of the Hornets' nest here. He has dropped all the way back to the 14th position. Still struggling with lack of grip. And I'm looking at his lap times right now. He has kind of settled in right around where most of these guys are. I wonder if that car maybe has damage with how much he's been dropping back this fast, because there's no way that a car with that good of qualifying speed should be dropping back that quickly here. There's no way he burnt up the tires that quickly in just 25 laps. But obviously, we'll have to see. Maybe that 25 does have damage on that right side.
The only thing that worse that could happen to me, Jason, is Dustin would kick me out of here and fire me, and I would have to sponsor the segment by Indeed.com, but I don't know about that. But it's a massive 3 wide racing here. Quickly goes back down to 2, but Milliken, the 42, all out of shape there on corner exit. The 87 just continuing to impress me, grinding the right side of that car off each and every time he goes to 3 and 4. I feel like he at least gets that little Darlington stripe. You got to start calling it Kansas stripe at some point in time. But able to keep that momentum. And yeah, we've seen the 25 countless times, I feel like, since I've started watching him race here at FTSR. Really strong short run car. It's just the long run. He always has some type of drop off, and you don't know if it's going to be 3 spots, 10 spots. So I usually expect it. And right now it's just a little bit stronger than some other races that we've seen such early on too. Coming up to lap only 27. So for him to go from second place, now fighting for outside of the top 15, that's a huge fall off.
Yeah, definitely a huge fall off. No, to say the least. I mean, this is just absolutely terrible for Hollingsworth. Whoa, look at the tire wear. Speaking of it going, look at Tony Solari nearly lost it going through turn number 2. And that was very unfortunate, but thankfully able to save it in the 14. He barely brushes the wall. Man, this is getting really aggressive here. And we're just about halfway through this stage. I cannot believe the way these guys are racing here in the mid-pack. This is like being at Daytona or Talladega with more separation.
This was the most eventful lap Tony Solari has had all of 2023. Just literally from the entrance of turn 1 to the exit of turn 2 was left, right, sawing on the wheel, make sure he didn't wreck the thing. Then he finally gets straightened up on the backstretch, heads to turn 3. Now the 14 lane Allen's up on the wall and checks him up, goes 3 wide with Hollingsworth. And man, that was a struggle thing there, but almost 3 wide action there with the 67 finding himself in the middle. Backs out of that lane. Allen's going to take that spot now with 17. Stephen Loomis is on the inside of the 67 here going to 1.
To the inside, you see Stephen Loomis go. There he is, trying to look to the bottom of James Wallace. That's a great battle going on, but Lane Allen definitely holding them back just a little bit more. But we'll see which one of them gets by the 14. The quickest is the 14's checking up big time into the corners. This is going to put them 3 wide off turn number 4. Can they get through it? Yes, they will. Across the start-finish line, still 3 wide now for the battle for that spot.
Everyone had their Roasted Gems coffee, I guess, this morning, because these guys are alert and keeping it off of one another, which is excellent stuff here. Still 3 wide here with the 42 in the middle, 14 on the outside. Sherwood Williford in the 33 on the bottom. 42 backs out of it, which seems to be that little sucker hole there. The top and bottom work great. It's always the middle lane that's always confusing me. It's like you have more bank. Oh, the 67 right behind them in the wall a little bit. Has to shake it off. Brody handling the 23 underneath him there. As we continue to see car handling just getting worse and worse and worse. And Doyle Lawrence also said that too in the chats a lap or 2 ago. Expect a lot of cars to get loose, which we're seeing it in real time here. And we got a wreck in the backstretch here. The 4 of Chad Lang spins. You see a lot of smoke. 87 Michael Blackner. He's also really slow entering turn 3, but they both get it going straight and continuing to stay green flag.
Great job from those 2 drivers, not collecting any more others. The 4 of Chad Lang back straight away spins, and then the 87 of Michael Blackner, I believe you said it was. If that's not correct, we'll have take a look at the replay. But man, heartbreaker for Chad Lang, one of the guys who's just a little bit above the cutoff line, not by much, but still a decent amount to where he could feel a little comfortable. But something like that is not going to make him feel very comfortable at all, Jeremy.
Yeah, we're going to have to back that up there with the 4 there. He did the same thing almost to the 42, but it paid off not so greatly there. Off turn 2, he just went really wide on corner exit. It's really hard to keep the car on the bottom when you're got him on the arc to exit on the top, and came across the left rear bumper. And we're going to see it right here on the 87. Boop. That's what sends them both to the infield. Oh, the 87. Did you see how far he was turned toward the green outside wall and did not hit that thing?
That was crazy right there. Just to see those guys be able to save it. Something that should have been way bigger than what it was. Thankfully, they were able to save it. So good on them, but definitely is going to set them a little bit back. You see it right there. Unfortunately, the 87, he was up into the wall. You saw the 4 right there just come up. I don't really think he even knew that the 87 was there, to be honest with you. That's usually what that kind of ends up being, Jeremy, that kind of situation at least. And that ultimately sent the 87 in the 4 going round.
Yeah, 100% there. I'm going to do a quick shout out to one of our partners. Series sponsor, really, Mach-1 Performance. It's a race fabrication shop that was started by the late Johnny Coy Jr. The shop has produced champions and winners of all sorts of racing divisions, from the road circuits like SCCA to NASA to dirt and pavement oval racing. So visit them at Facebook at facebook.com/Mach-1 Performance. And if you have a race car and you're local to them, stop by at their shop, or at least their page at minimum. It's definitely worth your time, and it'll help your car get back to victory lane today.
Looking at Nicholas Moreau, man, he is continuing to put on so much dominance here by a second and a half, looking to try to win this first stage coming up at lap 55. So it's going to be crazy to see this number 15, if he's able to hold off everybody and win tonight, being able to come back in a debut in over 6 months, which is absolutely crazy to think about it. But hey, we've seen crazier things. He's continuing that lead. And then here's a good little battle between Daniel Simmons, Jamie Knott. I believe those two are teammates. You have Jeff Chandler behind there. He's been able to kind of pick himself back up, save the tires a little bit earlier on to picking himself up. Richie Coy, last Kansas winner. He's up the 4th. Great run for him. I think everybody kind of right now, Jeremy, is just kind of figuring out where their stuff is lying.
Yeah, FNM Esports, which formerly known as Moreau Motorsports, running 1, 7, and 9. The only driver not is Matthew Vachon, which he did back out for a while and is still off the track, so he'll be the last place car in tonight's field. But also the second to last place car, Ryan Chapman, too much damage. He actually got out of his car and parked it as well. So number 27 is out, and that is one of your contenders for this championship, being 11 points below the cut line. Now he's going to finish 34th. This is going to put Mr. Ryan Chapman in a must-win situation next week as we go to Bristol.
That is terrible for Ryan Chapman, and obviously that is a racetrack that can bring a lot of chaos. And when you look at it in short track aspects, it is the Daytona or Talladega of short tracks, basically, because just of the atmosphere, how intense it is, how fast you are. They don't call it the world's fastest half mile or the last great Coliseum for no reason at all. You look it up in the front of the field, right where Brody Hanna is. Saw the 25 and the 23 brush the wall. That 25 is going to go up into the wall again. This is going to put these guys in a 3, almost 4 wide situation. It is getting super, super racy back here.
It is cars all over the place trying to figure out who's fast, who's slow. It all started by Hollingsworth misjudging the exit of turn 2, hits the wall pretty decently. Into the 47, Ryan Chapman has to check up as well. It sends everyone trying to scatter and figure out where they need to be for the next corner. And we're still seeing it here, 2 wide, crazy like here in the backstretch. I almost thought I saw a 3 wide attempt. But you see the 7 of Wayne Grassi. He's kind of slipping back from that. And they finally figured out what they need to do to get this thing straightened up. But, man, that was a pretty crazy couple laps right there.
Yeah, for sure. No doubt about it. I mean, but that's the kind of racing that Kansas provides. And, and this has been a discussion here within the week, ever since the truck race on Friday, then the Xfinity race on Saturday, and then the Cup race yesterday. Everybody seems to just keep saying this track, the more it ages, the types of cars that are on it, the package, if you get the right package, but not only that, just the way that the track is aging, it's becoming like another Chicagoland Speedway in a sense, or just another great mile and a half with great wear and tear to it. The tires wear to an extent that's very good. But also the racing, you can run the bottom, you can run the middle, you can run both lanes at once, you can run the very top right up against the wall, the Larson line, what we call it nowadays. I mean, this track is just, it's so good nowadays. I mean, when you look at it with the next gen car, especially within the last couple of years now that we've had 4 Kansas races, think about it, Jeremy. All 4 races were good races. And they all had surprising aspects, definitely a lot of drama. This has definitely become one of the staples on the NASCAR calendar that's become a fan favorite, considering the fact, too, that there was a time where we all hated mile and a half. So now we look forward to coming to them.
All depends on what kind of car you bring to the track, right? These next gens have been pretty acceptable. Up the mile and a half configurations in Kansas, yeah. Anytime you get a freshly paved track, you're always going to be like, man, this place sucks. It's a bottom feeder. It's this, it's that. But if you give it the time, give it the patience, 5, 6, 7 years, something like that, it really just kind of makes itself into a really characteristic track. And we're seeing that here. It doesn't matter where you drive at this mile and a half track, you're going to find a great lane for your car. And especially in an open setup league like you do find here tonight with the Mach-1 Performance Cup Series, everyone can build to be a little bit different on the track, and which for us broadcasting makes for a pretty awesome sight to see throughout the entire field here. And jumping back to the chats, at least I was going to. I don't see anything new on that end other than Doyle Lawrence saying that was a gaggle. Yeah, that was a huge gaggle there. And thankfully no one came about wrecking themselves. But we are approaching 10 laps to go now before we're going to see stage break.
Yeah, this has just been such an interesting race, obviously, but still, you can't exactly put apart the men from the boys just yet. Remember, this is Kansas now we're talking about. This track is very unpredictable with its restarts. The multi-groove racing plays a huge factor. Yes, you can make a case and say Nicholas Moreau so far in this first third of the race has the best car by far. He's running lap times 32.306. Jamie Knopp's a little bit faster right now last time around, but I mean, Nick's been able to extend that gap out to 2.5 seconds now from what it was about a second and a half, 10 laps ago. So that 15 here, Jeremy, is just getting faster and faster and faster as the runs go on. There's a lot of guys up here I'm looking at, though, in this top 10 who have a chance to win, especially my pick earlier on this race that said we should look at him. Jose Costa, up 14 spots, sitting in P10.
He's doing a great job coming through this field. Seeing his practice times and qualifying time, I didn't have too much expectations for him other than I know he's been solid during the middle of the race. And here he is, 10th place, and showing Florida, how good of drivers we have up here, going 14 spots with these FTSR boys is showing off some good speed there, and get that stage break at the 4 fresh virtual Goodyears, and you might see this guy maybe battle for top 5. He's definitely got the speed. I just don't know what the long run looks like. We don't pass 14 cars, but kind of cycling through the field here. Looking like we're at the 44. Chris Beck currently resides in 12th place here. 6-7 of James Wallace directly behind him. Little battle here for just outside the top 10, which always seems to be some type of battle in this position.
There's a lot of guys out here who are just finding themselves in some great battles here. Obviously, and with just the stage break coming up here in just about 5-6 laps now, everybody wants to try to get the most amount of points that they can. You have Ben Tracy, Rob Tracy. They're not in the playoffs. Same with Danny LaFleur, but they would definitely like to get some points, to say the least. You also have Richie Coy. He's only back by a second on Jamie Knopp, so he's looking to close in just a little bit. Daniel Simmons, Jeff Chandler, they're all close together. I think the 23 just got into the wall there a little bit, into 3 and 4. If not, it was awfully close, but everybody's starting to crank up the heat, knowing there's only 5 laps to go in this stage, and they want track position.
Yeah, we were talking actually to Brody Hanna before this race, and a little bit of a busy week on his schedule. So coming to this place in the first laps he's turned here all week for the Cup car were tonight during the practice session. So not too much prep time, and we're kind of seeing it there. He started 32nd up to 20th, so he did pass 12 cars, which is really respectable. But we're still sitting in 20th place. Maybe that pit stop coming up in less than, or actually right around 5 laps to go now, will help this car get him into the top 15, maybe top 10. He's got the team speed for sure. Running with Richie Cooley, who's currently third on the track right now, only 4.5 back from your race leader, Nicholas Moreau. Yeah, but we're winding this thing down and seeing a couple of different battles right now around, or at least behind the 19. You got 67, or that's the 06, Daniel Simmons and Jeff Chandler. They're trying to change any position they can before. Ooh, a little loose there from Jeff.
And Jeff Chandler, he's doing a nice job too as well. You know, he's already locked into the next round of the playoffs, but he still wants to try to get every point that he can get. We talked to him last week and obviously asked him the question, Jeremy, hey, Jeff, now that you're locked in, what's your plan? Are you going to try to tone it down? Are you going to try to learn some things with the car? Or are you going to try to just go out there, dominate? Obviously, wins are wins, but are you going to try to maximize your points every single week just to make sure that you can have these positions where in case you do need to have those points at the end of the day, let's say at the end of the round of 12, end of the round of 8, he finds himself in that position, he could look back on these stage wins that he has and all the stage points he was able to rack up that could potentially save him to making it to Championship 4.
Yeah, for sure. And I've only seen a couple of battles, really, minus this one on the track here. This is probably the most intriguing one, dealing with one of our points contenders and a really fast one at that, the 31. But seen the 33 of Williford going around the 37 of Brian Dublé here. This is for 2 to go at the stage. Looking at the 47, Ryan Hendricks, a little 3-car battle here on the track, and right behind them there's another couple groups of cars. Also trying to do any last-minute passes here. But this is not for stage points. This is outside the top 10, so it doesn't really truly matter to the point situation overall. But Nicholas Moreau going through 1 and 2 for the final time on stage 1. Did get the white to go, or 1 to go rather. And still good battle there from the 33, 47, 37.
And Nicholas Moreau, last time we talked about his race lead, now it's 3 3/4 of a second off turn 4 for the final time in stage 1. He's going to pick up that stage win on his debut back to the series since months and months ago. So good start here for Nicholas Moreau. Definitely going to be the class of the field. We'll have to see here, Jeremy, if anybody has got anything for him here in these next few laps.
And the Roasted Gems coffee caution is out. That is the sign for the end of stage number 1. Nicholas Moreau takes it first. Jamie Knopp second. Richie Coy is your top 3 there for the stage 1 finish. These guys are going to get wound down. We're going to kick it to our first picture-in-picture commercial break, and we'll be back a lap or 2 before the drop of the green flag for stage 2. And back to full screen coverage here. I think we have a lap and a half left before we're going to kick off stage number 2, and we're going to go to lap 167. So just over 100 laps will be in stage 2 to end this thing out for the Kansas 250. And Nicholas Moreau is going to be starting in first place here as we're going to go over our Nerd TV Top 10 recap here. Richie Coy up 9 spots from 11th to 2nd, and now he's got a fresh set of tires. Him and this 15 in a row have been, when they are on the track together, it's always an excellent battle. So I'm expecting nothing different here at Kansas, so it's going to be exciting stage 2 to watch. Daniel Simmons in 3rd. He's up 2 spots from 5th, holding a really strong car in this top 5, so I expect nothing different from him going forward. Jeff Chandler, Mr. Conservative here, is going to be starting in 4th place, also up 2 positions from his starting spot. And he's showing some really good short run speed, but that conservative long run, I don't know. It doesn't look like he has the speed to maintain, but maybe he made some adjustments. We'll find out. Jamie Knopp, starting 1st in this race, was running pretty good in the top 3, but slipped back to 5th. Before the caution came out, so he's got some work to do to get back up there. Starting at 6th, Jose Acosta. Look at him from 24th to 6th, 18 positions for this 24, and this is your pick, Jason. So he's put himself in the picture here for tonight's victory. Ben Tracy down 3, started 4th, now going to be restarting in 7th. Jonathan Vachon, he's up 9 spots from 17th to 8th. So no surprise there from FNM Esports to make their progression through the field. Sherwood Williford in the 33. He's going to be up a ton of spots from 30th to 9th. So 21 spots gained there for that car. Excellent movement. I think he might have done that with a little bit of strategy because I think he was mid-pack there when that caution came out. In the 10th place, the 47 Wright Hedrick, also playing the strategy card, up 16 spots for that number 47. As we're about to see the pace card dip down here to get stage number 2 underway, waiting on the start from the 15 of Nicholas Moreau, which we've only had 1 lead change amongst 2 different leaders tonight, and the green flag is out. The 15 beats Richie to the line, and excellent start here, or side by side through the entire field, going to 1.
And Moreau down to the inside, going to be challenged by Richie Coy, last Kansas winner, one of the most dominant cars in the field every given week. But Nick Moreau has come back to show his dominance. They're side by side this time, entering turns 3 and 4. Who's going to get it this time at the line?
Maybe a tough call, but I don't know. The side draft is strong. The 19 is going to get him there by a quarter car length. 15 1/1000ths of a second. Richie Coy makes it the 2nd lead change amongst 3 different drivers, but quickly falls back behind the 15 there. He got his 1 lap extra point there for the points, so good for him. Now he can kind of reside there, but here comes that early speed from the 31 Jeff Chandler as we're looking on back here. 24 Jose Acosta on the outside of 84 Jamie Knopp through 3 and 4.
A good little battle right here as Jose Acosta continues to make his way up through this field, working on the outside of Ben Tracy. Back now to Jamie Knopp into turns 1 and 2. Big gaggle of traffic right back where we saw it earlier, starting with Brian Dublé, who's gotten ahead of that gaggle just a little bit. Then you have Josh Johnson, you have Hollingsworth, then you have the 77 machine of TJ Bartel. I mean, there's just so many drivers all in this gaggle here. What will we see? 3 wide now, with that would be the number 99, Daniel LaFleur, heading through the middle. Oh, he gets chopped off by Bartel entering 1.
Remains 3 wide through 1 and 2 this time here. The 99 lost a ton of spots there. He started 9th, had to restart this thing in 23rd. Not sure why, but he fell off like a ton of bricks there late in that first stage. But they go back to 2 by 2 here through 3 and 4 once more. See a little bit up front of them, a little wide, racing there, top, bottom, middle, you name it, they're on it right now early on in this restart here, completing lap number 64 that time.
What a great run for some of these drivers up at the front of the field. But then in the back half of the field, you have guys who want to get up towards the front as quickly as they can, knowing the tires are going to be wearing out. You're looking at Ryan Hedrick there to the bottom of Kyle Milliken. Going to try to see what he can do here this time in 3 and 4. Not enough momentum.
Sorry to cut you up. Big Wreck 44, Chris back 3 wide, pushes up in the 11 of Tony Solari on corner exit, and they just get obliterated on the outside wall. At least Tony Solari did. We're going to go back to the Nerd TV replay and take a look at that. But 3 wide through the corner. As we might have to do a little VHS rewind to see exactly what happened through 3 and 4.
No.
I just know there were 3 wide, Jason, through most of that corner, and ended up fatal for the 11.
Yeah, this is not what Tony Solari wanted. This is more than likely and definitely going to put him. Oh, the 44 just gets tight. He just gets tight and comes right up into the 11th. Wrong place, wrong time for Tony Solari, unfortunately. And Chris Beck, who actually wasn't having that bad of a run earlier on in this race, he was found in like the top 10, top 12 positions. He was doing well and then ultimately got stuck back there, got too tight, and came right up into Tony Solari. And with that being said, Tony Solari, it looks like race-ending damage here possibly. Jeremy, it looks like Tony Solari is going to have to go out to Bristol next week and win.
Tony's had some bad luck there too. See the roof angle there on the 11, looking at the 44 coming across him. I went back and at least looked at the last 2 finishes, and Tony Solari finished 15th last week, 20th the week before at Daytona, and I haven't cycled through the rest of the stats yet, but the 11's just having a bad streak here, and he's going to be finishing outside the top 20 in this race. I think I saw the right front wheel disconnect from the rack and pinion setup, so that's going to be a required 8-minute repair for that number 11, at least, plus cosmetic. So it's such a heartbreaker here for the 11. 3 weeks in a row, going to be finishing in a terrible position.
Definitely not what Tony Solari was looking for at all. Definitely going to have to go into Bristol next week in a must-win situation. More than likely, you could see the right front. The toe is knocked out. That tire is practically ready to come off. That number 11, it's just a struggle to even get into his pit box. Number 11 Ford Mustang with Menards on the hood. Not looking so pretty at what it's used to be. Just a really, really bad string of luck here, like you said, Jeremy, for Tony Solari.
It really has been, and we're going to kick it back to another picture-in-picture commercial break. Be back before the drop of the green flag for the 3rd time this evening.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
And we're back to full screen here as we have a quarter of a lap to go before we're going to go back to green flag, which that'll resume on lap 71. So just under 100 laps remain in the Kansas 250 for the Mach-1 Performance guys. For FTSR, Nicholas Moreau, Richie Coy are going to be the same exact cars in first and second. Jeff Chandler moved up one spot to third. Daniel Simmons fourth. He's back one. Did start third last time. Jose Acosta, Jason's pick, in sixth place. Same spot as last time, but we're back to green flag action here. The 15 with a slightly better jump over the 19 this time compared to last. And I think this should lock him in here as they're going to go through 1 and 2. Try to carry that momentum to clear the 19. I don't know if he's going to be able to do it. He's got the side draft, but yet there it is. 19 has to check up a little bit on corner exit. And weirdly, the top 6 and 7 all single file on the back straightaway.
Single file back down into 3 and 4. Everybody kind of having a check up off the corner. But you see the Hornets Nest back there. They're all 3, 4 wide. There's Ryan Hendrick to the inside of Sherwood Williford now at the start-finish line. Almost some 3 wide racing there with Kyle Milliken as they enter turn 1 this time.
But Jesus have got to you, my guy. But yeah, side by side, still the 24 and the 8. Side by side. Going to turn 3 now. Jose with that great momentum launch off the corner exit of turn number 2. But the 8 of Ben Tracy gets right back to it. Gets that nose advantage over him as he goes through 3 and on the exit of 4. He's actually able to maintain that momentum. Ben Tracy, excellent job there to reside. Still in 6th place at the line.
And what a great run it's been for Ben Tracy here tonight. And to think he started in 4th, you said it, Jeremy, after a great qualifying effort. Sure enough, it's been a great effort for that number 8 machine tonight, but definitely won't be such a great effort if he keeps on blinking in and out with his connection. Hopefully that stabilizes. It looks like it almost has. But back through the field, you see Robert Malikian. He's up on the top side. Oh, he hits the wall just barely off turns 3 and 4. And that's going to enable Hollingsworth to go by. Also opens up the door for Chad Lang. Here comes Josh Johnson as well down into turns 1 and 2.
3 wide here through turns 1 and 2. It looks like almost Duranko made a strong move. Had a check up, though, is going to keep behind the 47 of Hedrick. As they get to the 97 of Vachon here, going through 3 and 4. The Jose Acosta, the 24, has to back off. He gets behind the 42, Kyle Milliken. You're 3 wide. Duranko, Hedrick, Blackner at the line. They're still 3 wide. As looks like Blackner, or the Hedrick is going to give that up back to 2 wide, but 3 wide right behind them with the 88 leading the way. Quickly clears the 23 and the 10. Strong move there.
And Rob Tracy able to clear him, and Colton Gum barely brushes the wall off turns 3 and 4, was able to save it. The 99, Danny LaFleur, he kind of holds up the 88. It's going to enable Tracy to go to the bottom, make it 3 wide. This might not. They save it off turns 3 and 4. Great battling here in the Hornets Nest, we call it, mid-pack here on lap 76.
And crazy enough that this is continuing to happen right around this part of the track here. Around 10th place. Finally to go back to 2x2. I think that's probably going to be momentary. This race is excellent right now. The 10 of Colton Gum is waiting for a window to open. I think he's got a strong car here on the very top of the track. And there we are. A lot of checkup on the bottom. Colton Gum's going to go 3 wide. Actually hits the wall with too much speed. Carried through the center of 3. Terrible to see that because he had a really fast car here on this restart, but has to back it on off. There goes the 99 there. Danny LaFleur is going to pass him. Oh, 3 wide again. The 97 gets trapped up, gets loose, checks up, almost hits the 23 of Brody Hanna. Blackner into the wall, 3 wide again with the 99.
As you folks can tell, we're losing our breath up here, up in the Nerd TV booth. There is action all throughout this main pack. The 99 was tight just a lap ago. Off 4, almost contact. There was contact right there between him and Brian Dublé. Here comes Hollingsworth right to the back bumper, shoves him down the front straightaway into 1 and 2. They're 3 wide. 37 has to check up. 99 is going to get a 2-for-1 special, clears Colton Gum, and now he's going to work on the 97 of Jonathan Vachon down the back straightaway into 3.
Colton Gum giving a massive push there to Danny LaFleur, almost upset his car, but Colton Gum has that speed once more, just quickly goes back to 3 wide and almost makes the same exact mistake as last time. He lifts a little bit more to not make the wall contact, but he's going to pay. He's going to lose 2 spots, almost gets door checked by the 25 of Hollingsworth. Back to 3 wide once more, temporarily that is. Now the Blackner 87 slides up in front of the 99 to make that pass completed. Jose Acosta puts Rob Tracy into the wall. Down the back straightaway, now Brody Hanna's going to look to go 3 wide.
3 wide into turns 3 and 4, almost 4 wide. Oh my goodness, this is crazy to watch. I can't believe we're seeing all this, and somehow, some way, these guys are showing that FTSR puts on one hell of a show week in and week out. Jose Acosta looking for a way around one of the Tracys to the bottom. Brody Hanna trying to clear him, just not enough. That outside lane, Jeremy, so strong here off these corners.
It super is, and the 10 of Colton Gum was doing such a great job at displaying exactly how much momentum you can carry, but the recent contact has kind of temporarily put him to a hold here, coming through 3 and 4 once more. The 25 slides right in front of Colton Gum, almost wrecks both of them. They keep it going straight here, but still a lot of these guys 2 by 2 going through turns 1 and 2 this time. And it looks like the 47 of Hendrick's going to have a really strong run. Check out Brody Hanna's wrecking. Oh, Jose Acosta involved. Huge wreck here on the back straightaway. Still green, still green. No one spun just yet. Oh, there he is. There it has to be. Yep, second or fourth caution. Third caution tonight, presented by Roasted Gems Coffee.
Wow. Talk about an incident that started in turns 1 and 2 and didn't end until almost turns 3 and 4. You see Acosta gets really loose or tight, gets right up into the wall there. Brody Hanna able to just get minor damage. Looked like they were going to save it. The 87 of Blackner is going to right hook the 24 right into the outside wall. And then this is where everything kind of goes south. The 24 right across the nose, gets to the 25, then boom, 25 lifted up off the ground, and the roof flaps deploy, keeps the car on the ground. James Wallace, yet again, another driver who's always fast here at these 1.5 miles, gets involved. A massive crash here, just over 80 laps into this event, takes out a lot of heavy hitters early on in this race.
I'll start by Brody just getting loose in the center of 1 and 2, carried it, and finally made a slight overcorrection where Jose was trying to make a pass, didn't realize the overcorrection was going to happen, slides right into the door there, the 47 of Hedrick, and right there you see James Wallace just comes through and plows the 25's door panel of Stephen Hollingsworth. Man, oh man, what a hard hit there. Thankfully, that was a virtual car. Ooh, Chris Beck, heavy collision there with, I think, Michael Blackner in the 87. Slides just around the 7 of Wayne Grassi there, and you see parts and pieces flying all over the back straightaway and even into turn 3.
I'm going to take a look back at that number 4 machine because I want us to look from the, not the onboard, but at least the camera angle of that 7 machine here. Because when he gets hit by Hollingsworth, that car almost got hit so hard at such a rate of speed, he almost weight shifted. And by that, what that means is one end of the weight goes from one side with the pressure, goes over to the other, and ultimately physics just turn the car over. But you're going to look here at the 7 of Wayne Grassi when he comes in. Right now, we're on board with Chad Lang. Here he comes back straight away. This is him making it through all the carnage. So great job on his end. And then right back there, you see the 7 gets up off the ground, gets tagged in the right rear. That thing almost went over, but sat itself back down.
Yeah, a little bit of a grip moment there as we're going to ride on board with that roof camera. At least it looked like we were going to of the 7. We're going to see this weight shift. He starts spinning, and I know they put grip into the grass on this latest iRacing update, but it looks like there was a little extra grip here. Look at that. There's a little lift on the right side of the car. You see it bounce, 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 bounce. That really stiff suspension with the bouncy tires on this tire model. He's still continuing to bounce until he comes to a rest.
It's a lowrider.
He's got some airbag suspensions in there somehow. Wonder how he passed tech.
I don't know, man. He might have had to slip him an old $20 bill down in tech before the race. But hey, it is what it is. Here's on board Stephen Hollingsworth. Nowhere to go. One of the fast drivers earlier on, man. There was a lot of guys taken out in this Germany who were probably could have been heavy hitters, including my pick, Jose Acosta.
You see the onboard there. Hollingsworth just getting drilled by the 67 after the wreck initiated. Spins across the field, and that's almost expected. And you see cars just continuing to spin around him, and at least it's quite the opposite for the 7. It could have been Ty Majeski where you had the caps in the tire leaking the air pressure for you to get your extra grip. He had the extra amount of pressure and just bounce, 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 bounce all the way when he came to the rest.
Yeah, the Ty Majeski thing is definitely a funny story. But hey, I mean, with that being said, now you have some guys who are up here, up at the front. Obviously, here because of that wreck. I mean, you look at the last pit lap, most of these guys all pitted, and noticing there is a driver who is not up at the front, the 15 of Nicholas Moreau. I'm not seeing him up on my leaderboard right now. I'm not sure if something happened to the 15 car.
Looks like he scored 8th place there. Whenever you said that, I was looking through there too, and I thought the same exact thing from him. I'm like, where did he go? He has to be at least somewhere.
He lost a lot of spots on pit road.
Yeah, Dustin, our producer, not only is a producer, he's also our guidance. He's also our finger pointer. I know he's got a yellow circle tool that we brought up a couple months ago. Haven't really had the chance to use it, but it's there. But yeah, that was a huge wreck though, and no surprise, it's going to shift up this restart, no doubt about it. And yeah, I have to go back and look at the 15's pit stop. I got to see exactly what happened there. Maybe he just came down for 2 tires or just top off fuel. That's why he's down a little bit. Not too sure, but here we are. We're going back to green flag here. Pace car is down, waiting for the green flag to fly for the 4th time here by Mr. Premature Patrick. And here we are. We are a green flag once more on lap 86 of scheduled 167. The 19 gets a good restart over the 31 of Jeff Chandler, who's found himself in a good starting spot in P2. But look at Alan Duranko up here, 33rd to 4th place. Gets a little loose. Oh, more contact in the back. Almost wrecks Daniel Simmons, Sherwood Williford, Steve Loomis. They almost dumped the field right there. They keep going straight, though. 3 and 4, side by side.
And still side by side, you see right there, that's Daniel Simmons just over Brody Hanna. And also Jonathan Vachon. You have Joshua Johnson in there, Rob Tracy. All these guys are fighting, slicing, dicing. 3 wide. Brody Hanna makes a little contact with Steve Loomis. Entering turn 1, shoves him up the track right in front of Colton Gum. They're able to save it, though, down the backstretch into 3.
Really sketchy there. Went really wide there for the middle car, and yeah, just put him in a weird predicament. Robert Malikian had to check up from the wall. Almost did the scrape right there. Duranko, I think, hit the wall in the center of 3 and 4. He's going to lose spots to the Sherwood Williford, Daniel Simmons, the 97. That's going to be Jonathan Vachon. And right now, the 23, Brody Hanna, also looking down to pass him. So 4 to 5 spots lost through 3 and 4, but he's back on the top, going to try to at least gain those spots back up.
Here we go, battle for 3rd currently. Kyle Milliken versus Jamie Knopf. Kyle's been able to make his way up through this field quite well so far here tonight, working in that outside lane, trying to clear Jamie Knopf, just not enough. And you're looking at Nick Moreau. He's battling right back behind them, looks to the inside of Milliken entering turns 1 and 2. You ride from that right side quarter panel camera that we love here on Nerd TV. We're going to watch Kyle Milliken more than likely rip the top lane again. Here he goes into 3. Watch how close he's going to get to it. He'll run the middle lane, but kind of starting to drift up here. Kyle Milliken, though, by far is going to be one of those guys up at the wall here in this race.
Much more conservative line there for Kyle Milliken through 3 and 4. We're going to ride this camera at least for 1 more lap. I want to see how close we can get him to go. But right now, contact behind him. The 15 of Nicholas Moreau and the 8 of Ben Tracy. Little out of shape there. They don't lose a spot, but man, oh man, that could have been big through 1 and 2.
Definitely could have been big. There could have been a lot of big moments here tonight, Jeremy, with all the action that we're seeing here that's been unpacked so far in just these 90 laps that we're about to complete this time by. Coy, Chandler, Milliken, top 3. The Knopf and Moreau have the 4th and 5th spot. Everybody kind of singled out. Back up at the front, nobody's really battling until you get back to the 2 of Alan Duranko, who probably, if anything, is riding that top lane more than anybody right now. We wanted to talk about Kyle Milliken ripping the top. This 2 car is by far been the closest to the wall out of everybody here these last few laps, especially going through 1 and 2 here as we ride on board that right rear quarter panel heading to lap 92.
He's carrying about 3 to 4 mile an hour faster speeds on exit compared to the guy who runs on the bottom in front of him. So He's doing an excellent job. You lose a little bit on entry, of course, but when you get that momentum off the corner exit, it is almost unstoppable here. As we're looking at the back bumper, the 8, Ben Tracy. Tracy goes to the bottom, Duranko goes to the top. You can't see that from this angle here, but they are almost door to door. Little wiggle there for the number 2. As we float it right above the car, back basically at the roof camera, it gets back to the back bumper here. And oh, we got a position change for second place, 1942 contact entering 1.
Oh boy, something that Richie Coy did not want to see, and he could very well lose third here to Nick Moreau down the back straightaway. We kick it over to the Nerd TV replay. Entering 1 and 2, the 42 had a massive run. 19 came down, 42 kind of came up a little bit to get a better entry. Makes the 19 go up the track. No harm, no foul. Just a racing deal between those two. I'm sure they'll look at it as the same like I do, but man, that 19 machine, good save by him to not make it a bigger situation than what it was. Battle for the lead, though. It's Jeff Chandler, Kyle Milliken going. Milliken goes to the top of the boards here into 3 and 4, trying to maintain that race lead from the 2 dominators this season.
42-19 will look out with better heads, and the number 9 of Chase Elliott, where he gets door checked in pit road, then door checks his own teammate back. At least these guys aren't teammates either ways, but going to 31 and 2 here. The 42 strong move to get himself in P1. Richie Coy just 4 or 5 car lengths back in third, and that 15 has found himself into 4th place. So up 4 spots from that restart. About 10-ish so laps to go, and the only car on the top, you still see that number 2 of Duranko really doing an excellent job up there, scattering across the front straightaway. And we have our local guy, and did one time on the broadcast booth, Matt Keach on Facebook chat saying, "Hey, what's going on, man?"
Tell you what, Jeremy, this 2 car, I was about to say that he was making an outside work. I'm going to take that statement back I was going to make now. He hit the wall down the back straightaway last time around and just hit it again going into turns 1 and 2. Had a little bit of wall glue, as you say. Got off the wall, though, pretty quickly. He's going to get cleared by Ben Tracy for the 8th spot. But look at this, 3 wide for the race lead for a brief moment across the start. Oh, contact!
Oh, no,
Knocked
no,
into the
no.
wall. Sherwood Willis, Brody Hanna. Oh, and Duranko's going to get turned right in front of Rob Tracy. I don't think Brody Hanna was having any of it going into 1. Decided to turn the number 2, but we'll have to take a look back here at the Nerd TV replay. Huge race implications for probably race-winning contenders up here at the front.
Jamie Knopp did not get enough room there on the inside lane. Moves up into the 33, into the 23, puts them pinned on the outside wall, entering turn 1, and that sets off that chain reaction wreck there. When you got cars directly behind you at speed, it's really hard to avoid them, but we're going to see him go from the bottom of the track, across the white line, door checks Sherwood Williford with plenty of space on the bottom, and then just crosses over Brody Hanna. Duranko involved with that right front damage. 23 came down and said, "See you later" on that one. And then, so it looked like 4 total cars involved in this one.
Yeah, here, let's rewind it back one more time. Want to take back a look at that number 84 machine, I believe it was, of Jamie Knopp. So watch this coming here off turn number 4. He's going to get the run, right? He's going to go all the way to the bottom. Sherwood Williford has that inside lane. Now he has the 23, so he has to give room to the 23, and unfortunately, the 33 wanted to arc it coming into the corner a little bit earlier. Knopp was coming up. They just met in the middle. Nothing of those 2 drivers' fault. They just met in the same piece of real estate that unfortunately only had room for 1, not 2. They collected 2, the 23 there, then the 23 ultimately just trying to get off the wall there. I thought that maybe that started with the 2 going into 1 the first initial time. Turns out it wasn't. But yeah, definitely just driver error probably between the 84 and also the 33 entering 1.
That's actually an excellent point. I'm glad you pointed that out there with Jamie Knopp running the bottom. He did not see Sherwood Williford too wide with the 23 at all when he went down below the apron. So that's actually a solid call. Didn't expect him to be so low down the track because so. And 3 wide, being blinded essentially. They're right in the blind spot of the 84. As we're going to go Nerd TV replay one more time. We're going to see an angle that Dustin says he has that I have not seen just yet. We're going to back it up rewind style here. Looks like we're going to stay TV camera potentially, but here at the moment, you see right there, single file, single file, single file, boom, 2 wide, 3 wide, and that was definitely in the blind spot of the 84. Even the virtual spotter couldn't even tell Jamie Knopp quick enough, I would imagine, hey, you're 3 wide all of a sudden, and the Brody Hanna was completely in shock. He was like, whoa, what happened there? And I don't blame him because it was just such a fast movement there. Makes the pass to the outside, and then boom, you're in the wall a second later.
Yeah, very unfortunate circumstances. Again, just a racing error, unfortunately, on both those drivers. One, not really knowing that one's going to be coming up. One, not knowing he's probably 3 wide or going to commit to that middle lane. Unfortunately, just met in the middle right there.
Doyle Lawrence saying that was ugly, and yeah, that was these last couple wrecks have been quite eventful for sure. 4 cars in this one. I think there was 6 or 7 in total last one, so really, really, really calm stage 1, and then come to stage 2, and I thought it was going to be another long green flag run, but it has just been crazy racing, for better or for worse. Great show if you're watching, and then for these guys who are trying to make some moves and whatnot, it's been pretty eventful, I would say.
Yeah, and Doyle, the funny thing is that Jeremy, after that first commercial break, he said, well, I might as well just go to the bathroom now. Or was during the second caution, because then you were like, we're going to get a long green flag run. Turns out that hasn't happened yet. There's been action all over this place, from the top all the way down to the apron, all the way down to pit road. It doesn't matter. That's just what Kansas does. And unfortunately, we've had some wrecked cars, but on the benefit of it, we've had a lot of good racing so far.
Yeah, you're absolutely not wrong. Caught me red-handed on that one, and we're getting down more to crunch time. We're at lap 101, so 67 laps to go in this event. We're going to go green flag racing next time by, so 66 to go. There's going to be 1 green flag pit stop if it stays green the remainder of the way. But with these cautions now winning, this is our 4th one, right? And they haven't come too close to one another, right? So you have 5 sets of tires complete for this Mach-1 Performance Cup Series, 1 on your car, plus the 4 behind the wall. You've had 4 pit stops. So, like, where do you manage your tires? How many more tires these guys have behind the wall? I'm not too sure. I don't have that counter. But I would imagine there's at least 2 to 1 sets of tires for most of these teams left over. Just kind of play that tire management game now.
Yeah, and that's going to be interesting to say the least, Jeremy. If we keep getting cautions, will we go green? That's the thing. This track has become kind of unpredictable when it comes to the 1.5 mile side of things. I mean, just look right now. Yeah, we had 35 cars to start. We only have 19 on the lead lap right now. Jeff Chandler pitted last time around, so we'll have to see how he does on those fresh Goodyear Eagles.
Jeff Chandler had to make a secondary pit stop to clear a little penalty that he had, probably speeding, so that's why he's definitely further in the back than some others. But green flag is out. The 19, Richie Coy, actually looks like he missed a shift, I guess.
Oh, no.
Gonna really check up the inside lane here. Thankfully, no one gets wrecked on that, but he gets a great launch through 1 and 2. Now back to the inside of Milliken. I did not expect that at all. Back to door here, 1st and 2nd, 3rd to 4th. Jamie not trying to get around the 57 to Joshua Johnson, who's found himself inside the top 5 here. Gets a great launch off the top at 3 and 4, checked up by the number 8 there. The 15 of Moreau is going to propel the 19 to that lead.
Tell you what, even though he missed a shift possibly going into 1, he was still able to take the lead away. All I got to say is Richie F. Coy, and you can take it as you want for what that F stands for, but that number 99, side by side, or 19, I should say, side by side for the race lead with Kyle Milliken, who's put on one heck of a fight between 3 of the most dominant cars in the FTSR Mach-1 Performance Cup Series. Kyle Milliken trying to defend the 19 and the 15, who's looking for a way around the 2. Lap 104 goes up on the board.
If you're a rap fan, Lil Wayne has the letter F for anything possible. Always says it. So whatever you want to plug in there, the word is yours. But great racing here for the top 5. Milliken gets a great launch off of 2. The 15 of Moreau's going to pass the 19 of Richie Coy. Entering turn 3, clears him by 2 car lengths plus. 42 checks up on the top center here. The 15 is going to have a great launch to go for that 2 for 1 through 3 and 4. At the line, dead heat, but it belongs to Kyle Milliken this lap.
And you think Kyle Milliken's just going to give this up? Absolutely not. This is an opportunity where he could totally win on a 1.5 miles. Remember, pulled off the clutch at Daytona, was able to win that race, lock himself into the playoffs, came in tonight third in the playoff standings. So he was sitting pretty. Sure enough, this has got to be a great run going for him. And here comes Jamie Knopp. He'll look to the inside of Joshua Johnson, who is having a great night. Despite last week at Darlington, a little bit of contact in the back. Josh Johnson trying to move his way up and have himself a good night compared to last week at Darlington.
Colton Gum issues through 3 and 4. A wall glued, had a really check up on the top. Really slowed up Robert Maliki in there and made him lose a spot or two down the front straightaway here. But they stay straight. We stay green. And looking at the 88 here, Rob Tracy right in front of the 06 and the 99. That's Danny LaFleur and Daniel Simmons. 3 and 4 here, a little bobble there by the 77 TJ Bartell directly behind them. And you see Jonathan Vachon in the 97 also lurking behind the 06 here. Great racing here just inside the top 10.
LaFleur and Simmons had a little bit of contact going into 3 the last time down the back straightaway. They were able to keep it going. Oh, that 99's really loose right now, able to save it though. He's ripping that top side, gets about 3 cars through 1 and 2, and there's Rob Tracy trying to slam the door, or Ben Tracy trying to slam the door on Rob Tracy into turns 3 and 4. But look at this gaggle of traffic right here. This is for the leaders mostly compared to the back half of the field, what we saw earlier on. Kyle Milliken battling with Richie Coy. 3 wide now. That's the 99, the 57, and the 84. Absolutely flying right now. And you got to be wondering to yourself, Jeremy, why is that 99 so fast? Well, guess what? He's got the freshest tires up there.
He really does. We had 3 wide last lap at the start-finish line for 10th place, and then going through 3 and 4, Jonathan Vachon almost turns the 8 of Ben Tracy, gets a little underneath his left rear quarter panel and corner entrance and upset the car. 3 wide once more here on your screen with the 706 and the 4 Chad Lang. Got a strong push here on the top of 1 and 2. Is going to clear the 06. The number 7 Wayne Grossi clears the top, allows him to carry that momentum all the way to turn 3. Side by side, 7 and 4 also going through 3 and 4.
Great battling all over this racetrack. There's Lane Allen in the 14 machine, one of those guys who just pitted at lap 98. He's gaining spots pretty quickly, gains them really going through the corners. Watch how strong that 14 is here once they sail it off into the corner. Just look at the differential in speed compared to him and also the rest of the field. Chad Lang, another one on fresher tires back at lap 99. So they are slicing their way through this field here to get up towards the front.
Heavy cloud coverage, choose turns 3 and 4 here. They start to thin out just a little bit here inside this top 5. Richie Coy has a 2-car length advantage over the 99, Danny LaFleur, who's found himself strong in the 3rd place at this time. Kyle Milliken still ripping the top with the 57. Those guys are for 4th and 5th place. Here comes LaFleur, though. Strong run through 1 and 2. Does check up, though. Not going to make the pass effort. Going to turns 3 and 4.
I think the 99, once he gets back to the 19 here, Jeremy might want to try to rethink his strategy just a little bit, knowing that, yeah, the lead is in front of me. It's my teammate. But with that being said, he's going to burn his stuff up running through this field already. Starting to burn it up about a little bit slower than Nicholas Moreau last time around. But then again, Nick Moreau's got clean air, can run the line he wants to. But Danny LaFleur, he sacrificed track position for a set of tires thinking, hey, I can get up towards the front. That leaves him with only 1 set back in the pits. Remember, these guys had 4 sets of tires to start off the race, plus the 1, so 5 total that was on the car. So he's already used 3 sets. He's only going to have 1 more set. Some of these other guys, like Jamie Knopp, Kyle Milliken, Nick Moreau, Richie Coy, they all have 2 sets laying behind the pit road wall.
The guys who have 1 set left, they are praying that this thing stays green flag the rest of the way so they don't have to worry about tire strategy on when to take the tires, because that'll just sort it out for them here. So we got some heavy racing just through 6th through 10th essentially right now, 2 by 2 by 2 all the way back to about 12th or 13th place at the line this time. Leading the charge on the inside is 84 and Knopp, 42 of Milliken on the top side here. Ben Tracy waiting a little patient here, waiting for that door to open. It's just the 42 gives it up on entry, gets it back on exit, and it closes the door once more. Ben's going to have to make a check up here. A little blink action there. He is back. He's not. He's back. Hopefully gets that corrected. But still strong battle here inside the top 10.
All these guys mainly still have the same set of tires. The only one in this battle who doesn't, who has the freshest, would be Chad Lang, and then also Wayne Grossi working on that bottom. So they're kind of held up by these guys right now. You see the 4, he wants to go to the middle, doesn't want to sacrifice too much. 3 wide for a moment off turn 2. They'll be able to save it. Huge gaggle of cars heading for 3.
Going through 3 and 4 here. The 7 making a strong run on the bottom of the 8 of Ben Tracy coming at the line this time. It's going to be a dead heat between these 2 guys. It looks like the 8's going to take it this time here. This is Jason. It's going to be a great time to do the turn up the tune segment. We're going to listen to all the sounds of the cars going around Kansas. Be back with you guys in a few moments.
right, man. Caution is out. Caution is out.
And as you see it right there, we have a caution presented by Roasted Gems Coffee. This is going to be out by the number 24, Jose Acosta. Pit roads are being called. I heard the 37, Brian Dublé, on radio. 24 was silent, but he made the apron transition from turn 3. And there's no travel in the suspension. As soon as he gets on the flat, good night, right in front of the leaders here. Whew, close call there. Brings out the caution for the 5th time.
Yikes. Rare Jose Acosta mistake here. Definitely more than likely not really being too familiar with the transition, with also that suspension in the rear end. I mean, you catch that suspension on that apron transition on a track like this, man, you're going around. But hey, here we go. This could be the bunny stop.
Yeah, if it stays green, this will be the final pit stop this evening. So who's going to do great, who's not? The 99 had that huge momentum advantage with the fresh set of tires. And this is going to be erased and put everybody back on the same exact pit strategy here. 3, 2, 1 at the box. Looks like everyone's locked up just fine here. I don't see anybody reversing. This is a great camera angle. You can see everybody hitting their pit stall in one shot. Everyone's smooth into the box. Great stuff here. Let's see who can get out on exit. 57, 7, 19. Obviously, the 99 is going to do great. Passes his teammate there, and it looks like most of these guys are going to be in and out in the same exact spot. Oh, good thing those cars are invisible. Little contact on pit exit.
You don't want to make a Chase Elliott move, obviously, and door your teammate after you're trying to avoid the 6 coming out of his box, because that would be an L moment per usual by Chase Elliott. But, man, what a statement from the 99 to be able to take that set of tires last time around and take the lead. But, you know, he wanted that run to go green. Now he's on that last set of tires. That was the 4th set he had. Everybody else behind him, besides probably Wayne Grossi, Lane Allen, Josh Johnson, and then a couple others back there, they just don't have any more tires. And when you look at the 99, his strategy was strictly, all right, use a set of tires, come in early, drive to the front. All right, mission accomplished. Let's have it stay green. Well, that didn't work out. So now the 99's goal is purely probably to beat this number 15 on speed.
Yeah, 100% there. And to kind of answer Doyle Lawrence's concerns, Jeff Chandler has found himself back into P11 after those pit stops there. So he gained up a good amount of that ground that he lost from that speeding penalty. What was it, about 20 to 30 laps ago? So almost in that top 10. And this is going to be a great restart here for a lot of these guys to get themselves set up. Remember, if we stay green, this is it. So you want to do a little conservation, get it at the end where you can. You know, obviously, at this point, who the fast guys are. The 99, the 15, FNM, Esports, doing great work. Richie Coy, able to kind of maintain, but falls off on the long run. So he's going to be about a 3rd place car unless something happens to those guys. But really, 5th through 10th is really the toss-up. We know Kyle's fast, but he's hit the wall on the outside a few times. But Sean, Jonathan, been doing pretty all right. He's been bouncing around the field like a ping pong ball, so not sure where he's going to end up here during a long green flag run. Joshua Johnson, though, that's my surprise one right now. 57 car, just pulled the strategy to get himself into the top 10 early, and he has not left that spot. So great job by that team to set him up for a potential good finish here.
Yeah, and Josh Johnson is a guy who needs a good run. Remember, came into the playoffs here tonight, 15th up on the board, and had the same amount of points back as Ryan Chapman. Ryan Chapman out of this race. He's going to be in a must-win situation. Tony Solari, a driver who's been in the pits for multiple laps, he's going to have a bad night, probably head outside the playoffs and go into a must-win situation at Bristol. Josh Johnson, he's sitting really good right now to get above that cutoff line. If he can do that tonight, come out of here with a great finish. Probably, I want to say top 10 would be good, but if he could get a top 5, that would definitely feel like a win. A top 3 or a win would feel like a championship to him, probably. But then he wouldn't have to go into Bristol next week with a top 5, under his belt, knowing, hey, we have to fight a little bit harder. He could be a little bit more relaxed. And obviously, when the pressure's put on here in the playoffs, Jeremy, a lot of mistakes can happen. We've seen that with Ryan Chapman. We've seen that with Tony Solari, even though it kind of really hasn't been his fault most of the time. That's the thing. Playoffs mean pressure.
Let's see if Boomerang can keep him up there, competing to get his playoff hopes. At least 3 more races into the playoffs. Here we go. Green flag is back out the 99. LaFleur has a little bit worse start than his teammate and TMO to the 15 of Nicholas Moreau here. Dead heat going to turn number 1. So is the 7 of the 19. 84 temporarily going to hold single file here. See if he holds the bottom. He does. Check up on the top there. He's going to go around the 7 on the bottom here, going to turn number 3. Top 3 single filed out. 15, 2 car length advantage. Oh, check up by the 99. It's going to check up the 19 of Richie Coy. Coming off the turns 3 and 4. Almost 3 wide here on corner exit. Down to the finish line for lap 129.
This is some crazy racing up at the front. Nicholas Moreau loves what he's seeing in his rear view mirror. You see this gaggle of traffic right here. Here comes the 97, John Vachon. He's kind of drifting up to the top side, back down to the bottom. He's side by side with Lane Allen heading into 3 and 4 this time. You see the Abruzzi Racewear Chevrolet trying to work to the inside, almost tried to stick it to 3 wide. He's going to back out of it. Back to 2. Daniel Simmons slides right in front of Wayne Grossi, but they're all 2 by 2 now here on the next lap.
Great racing here for the 10th place on the field. Still side by side for multiple rows deep here. The 42 Milliken checks up, gets a little loose on corner center. Almost hit the 14. Now we're going to go 3 wide between Rob Tracy and the 57 of Johnson. We just talked about him putting himself in a great spot. 3 wide's not the way to go right now. Looks like Kyle Milliken's going to release that. They go back 2 wide here at the front straightaway.
Down the front stretch into turns 1 and 2. You see the 14 Hillkill at 57, while Jonathan Vachon tries to work to Daniel Simmons. Here comes Josh Johnson to the top. There's battling all over this, man. We're making Dustin do a lot of work here tonight, to say the least. But that 97 of Jonathan Vachon, fastest lap of the race last time around, 30.696 for the driver, the number 97. Will he be able to get up to the front? He's already up 11 spots so far from where he started. We'll have to see what that 97 can do.
Yeah, Jonathan Vachon doing excellent work late in this race. Oh, the 88 Rob Tracy into the wall glue there. Finally released it, but he's going to lose spots to the 42, the 77, and the 8 as he gets it regrouped back on the back straightaway. Now he's going to make the quick charge back underneath the 8 here, going through turns 3 and 4. Shout out to one of our newest partners, Dusty Pete's Gifts and Collectibles. Hobby store with a whole lot more. Based out of New York, Dusty Pete's is your one-stop shop for many things nerdy. So if collecting is the game, Dusty Pete's is the name. From figurines and action figures to collectible cards such as Magic the Gathering, Pokemon, and sports cards to die-cast replicas, Dusty Pete's is the place. Wait, they have comics? That's right, Dusty Pete's also sells a plethora of comics for any nerd, young and old. If you collect things nerdy, then visit the official hobby shop, partner of the Nerditudes, at DustyPete's.com, and you use that Super Nerd checkout code that we always display. Going to give you 10% off anything you do purchase from Dusty. And side note, New York, they got Hurricane Lee on the way potentially, so hopefully they're staying safe. They should be okay though, but either way, DustyPete's.com, give them a checkout.
Yeah, definitely a great place to check out. And I tell you what, if you like getting old stickers like me, I love putting stickers on anything that I really can find, especially my water bottle or my coffee mug. Man, he's got a lot of old decals from Jeremy Mayfield to old Jamie McMurray, Danica Patrick, old Tony Stewart ones. Jeremy, there's so many stickers over there. Oh yeah, DEI Dale Jr. Love the old stickers that was presented back in the day for those, man. So many great things on Dusty Pete's for sure.
Yep, I absolutely have to agree with you there. It's a great place for anything nerdy, just like it's advertised, right? So jumping back to your race lead, 2 teammates are just nose to tail still here. Nicholas Moreau is not getting to that lead advantage like we've seen all race long prior, as we are 31 laps to go in this Kansas 250. 99, just only 1 car length. Richie Coy is falling to about almost 10 car length at this point in 3rd place. Jamie Knopp not too far back there sitting in 4th, and Daniel Simmons still top 5 contender here. Jeff Chandler up a couple more spots, was at 7th at the line last time by. Going to be the same way here as they have a little 7-car breakaway. 8th place on back, though, getting a little racy.
You can just see them right there from the back bumper, the 31 of Jeff Chandler, the side-by-side racing from Joshua Johnson back all the way through that field. They continue to race, and we might have a battle here up at the front pretty soon, too. Danny LaFleur's trying everything he can to get to his teammate. You see 3 wide right here, though. Almost for a brief second, the 88 nearly got to the 14. Could have caused a wreck exiting turn 4. They saved it. Lane Allen will be able to clear that 88, not just yet. Take that back. The 88 of Rob Tracy back down to the bottom, while Josh Johnson tries to defend playoff contender Kyle Milliken in the 42.
I don't think it's affected his car, but quick mention, 97, Jonathan Vachon did hit the wall, pancaked it just before the entrance of turn number 1, but it looks like he's maintaining speed. But side by side here is the 42, 57, and the 88 and 14. As you see the train on the bottom right below them on the apron, trying to make some moves here. Still impressing me. They're still side by side here on lap 140.
With the amount of side-by-side racing we've had tonight, Jeremy, these last 140 laps feel like they were just done in 2 seconds with the amount of action we've called here tonight. And it's getting to crunch time, man. Come lap 147, we're only going to have 20 laps to go pretty much. I mean, these guys are racing for everything and what it's worth. No more pit stops necessary. I mean, you got what you got right now, unless you have an extra set sitting behind the wall and a yellow comes out. So we'll have to see how this all plays out. But, man, the 15 and the 99 have really set the standard here for the field tonight.
I think next year, if we still have our Project Nerd car, I might want to slide into this Kansas race. It is just so much fun. Oh, the 88, Rob Tracy hard on the outside wall off corner exit 4. Still carries speed down the front straight this time, but it has to hurt that aerodynamics a little bit getting through turn 1 here. The 42 checks up a little bit. 14 Lane Allen also hit the wall just a little bit there in turn 1. But it just looks like if you pancake the wall with this car, it just doesn't affect your speed too much, thankfully for these guys. As long as you don't break anything in that 3 toothpick rack and pinion setup, I think you're going to be okay.
For sure, no doubt about it. Obviously, these cars are strong, but they are also like toy cars when you think about it. If you hit them in just a sweet spot on that right side or even the left side, you can break the toe link. You know, there's so many different factors, obviously, with these new cars when we think about toe links the most. You know, when you get hit, you break a toe link, man, you are pretty much crab walking down straightaways. That thing does not want to turn. You can't do anything with a broken toe link. So hopefully no issues for that number 88, who's pretty much had a very consistent night all night. We'll have to see how he does. Same with the 14 Lane Allen, who's briefly in the wall. Everybody, though, kind of gets back single file, but some people, like these 3 right here, Johnson, Allen, Milliken, starting to ride the top side of the wall here.
Great time to shout out Nerd Swag. So head yourself over to swag.nerditudes.gg if you want to check out anything Nerditudes related. You see the 88 Rob Tracy into the wall once more, heavy wall glue. But going back to the shout out there, our official team jerseys are up there and gloves, both produced in-house by Martin Sports. And then we also have the Shirtitudes lineup, which we have 3 designs currently. We also have mouse pads and bottles and a couple other items at the moment, and that will continue to grow. So if you haven't mentioned it or haven't done it before, bookmark our page, swag.nerditudes.gg, and use that Super Nerd checkout code. It's going to save you 25% off anything you purchase from our sites. Jumping back to the action here, 31. Jeff Chandler wants to get around the 97 of Jonathan Vachon. Just going to play that conservative game now a little bit. Checks up a lot through 1 and 2, though. Surprised how much room he gave on that corner entrance here. But the story is, can the 99 get to his teammate, able to keep the momentum at the moment, but starting to slip away?
Yeah, definitely starting to slip away. He was back by about 0.18 to 2 tenths just a lap or 2 ago. Now he's back by almost 3/4 of a second. It just seems like on this super long run here, Jeremy, this 15 is just lights out, and away he goes, as Crofty would say in Formula One. I mean, this 15 machine has been on rails. But this is no surprise for your normal viewer. If you know Nicholas Moreau, you know how fast he is, how fast the Moreau brothers are, how fast their team is when it comes to the esports side of things for FTSR. This team is always fast. They have Nicholas Moreau, new Daniel LaFleur, Jonathan Vachon. There are a couple other guys as well. This 15 dominates almost every single race that he is in, makes very little error. But when it ends up being an error, it tends to be, something that's usually race ending. But for him, it's been a great night. For this 99, it's going to be a night where he probably wish he possibly had one more set. If we get a yellow, here comes the 19 of Richie Coy trying to take over the second spot with Jamie not following toe as they come into 1 and 2.
Yeah, Daniel LaFleur needs this thing to stay green all the way because, I do believe, like you said earlier, he is on his last set of tires. So if everyone else comes down, which a lot of other cars do, then he's going to be a complete sitting duck, just like Daniel Suarez was last night at Kansas. Oh, door check, 1999 going through turn 4. They do not wreck. 19 actually has to back up, gets the worst of that. Daniel LaFleur is going to resume back in second place, but now this is almost a 2-second gap between him and race leader 15, Nicholas Moreau. And just a train of cars here, 2nd through 7th place, just bumper to bumper to bumper on the back straightaway here, trying to complete lap 150.
It's a great battle for position, and these are all points that are on the line for Richie Coy and also Jamie Knopp too. And also, just a few guys too, Jeff Chandler as well. All guys who are in the playoffs looking to try to earn every single point that they can, knowing that this 15 machine, more than likely, if this race goes green, is going to walk away with this one. So all these guys fighting for every position, knowing a point's on the line.
Yeah, if you look at the scoring pylon on the right-hand side of your screen there, the names in green are in the playoffs. So that's going to be the 19, the 84, the 31, the 67, and the 7, all within the top 10 at this time here. The 19, Richie Coy, looking to pass LaFleur here once more on the bottom. Turn 1 and 2. Almost gets the entire car there. 99 with a little wiggle through turn 1. Going to give it up. Richie Coy back to P2.
I think the 99 just tried way too hard to get back to his teammate there, Jeremy. Unfortunately, those tires have gone away. He's going to lose 1, 2, almost 3 spots here if Daniel Simmons can stay side by side with him and clear him down the front straightaway. Also, Jeff Chandler, that would be another one to make it a top 5 and drop that 99 outside of it. Into 1 and 2 they go. Not holding the bottom. Simmons in tow. Jeff Chandler behind them. That 99, you can see him. He's hurting right now,
man.
all the way off turn.
Oh,
Jeff Chandler, what a hell of a save out of that 31 machine. That could have been something that could have made him go there you go, Dustin. You know exactly what I was going to say, man. Martin Sports, get a grip award. Screw the lucky dog. That thing doesn't exist. We got the Martin Sports Get a Grip Award. Jeff Chandler, save of the night so far with 14 laps to go, man. That thing should have been wrecked off turn number 2, but he was able to save it. Great job by Jeff Chandler.
Some of these guys make it look too easy. I'm sure in his cockpit he was all over that thing, just, eyes wide open, trying to save it. But then our camera angle is just a little loose here. But, man, what an excellent job by the 31 Jeff Chandler to keep that thing going straight. And he carried his momentum. Now he's back to the 99's bumper once more, who has seemed to lose all the grip in that Ford Mustang right now on lap 155. So got 20 or 13 laps to go, rather, in this race.
99 machine is about 3 to 4 tenths of a second off of most of these guys up here in the lead. And Jeff Chandler nearly losing it there off turn 2. That didn't help for him either. 32 flat last time around, quite literally. You can see him, though, struggling to get around the 99. I can assure you that Jeff Chandler is definitely frustrated probably in his virtual cockpit, wherever he is, because he was going to make a couple passes probably. The 99 got loose. 31 had to check up. Big save out of that 31 machine. But he's going to get around the 99, though, here off 2.
Makes the pass completed. Now the struggle is to get to the next guys in front of him, which is going to be 4th, 3rd, 2nd, and 1st. He might have a chance at Daniel Simmons, but he's been a little too strong. Not sure if that's going to be the case. as we cross the line here for 11 laps to go in this Kansas 250. All these guys 3 seconds back from your race leader.
And Richie Coy 3 seconds back, but he's got 2 guys who are hungry for more positions here, possibly in the closing laps. Just 10.5 laps to go. Richie Coy 3 seconds back from Moreau. Just don't think it's going to happen unless something drastic happens to Nicholas Moreau, or if Richie Coy somehow puts on an extra speed boost perk, possibly. If that was a thing, possibly here in iRacing, hashtag iRacing, hashtag sim racing, make it a thing. I'm just kidding. But Richie Coy, though, great night for him. 9 spots up from where he started. Doing great. Just more points that he can add to get above that, more of a cushion in a sense, too. So the 19 looking purdy right now, sitting in the second place position. I'm sure, though, he wants to see a caution here late in this race, Jeremy.
Yeah, most likely for sure. And I was kind of looking at the points here, and some positivity for the 37 Brian Dublé, who came to this thing 5 points out of the cutout line there. Right now, one of the top guys in the back half of the points. He's running in 15th place. We've seen a couple of those guys like Ryan Chapman have some issues. Hedrick not really doing too well. 26 laps back for that 47 car. Michael Bachner's been in a couple of different situations, so he's in the back. But Chad Lang in the 4 car right now came into this thing 5 points above, and he's running in 10th place at the moment. So shout out to the 4 of Chad Lang and the 37 Dublé, who've bumped themselves up further into this playoff battle and give themselves a good chance at the top 12.
Yeah, great job to say the least, obviously, by Brian Dublé, up 13 spots from where he started. Currently second and 9/10 back from Rob Tracy if he wanted to pick up another spot. But there is battles going on throughout this entire field. If you look right now, Jeremy, at the leaderboard, at the intervals, Jamie Knopf back from Richie Coy by 2/10. Daniel Simmons, Jeff Chandler, they're all nose to tail. Jonathan Vachon, Josh Johnson, they're all within a second of Danny LaFleur. You see them. They're getting close together. There are battles throughout this racetrack. It just depends on what your car's doing, how your car's handling, what your tire wear look like. Don't rule out the possibility here of a late race yellow, because Kansas tends to do that. We saw one yesterday with 7 laps to go, I believe it was. Could we see it again here just a little bit afterwards?
The way 2nd through 5th are running right now would not surprise me. You'd hate to see it amongst these guys, 3 being playoff drivers, but you never know. They're running so close together right now as we have 6 laps to go in this event. And the 19 of Richie Coy, I think he's holding up Jamie Knopf just a touch here, but then again, they're all holding the inside lane. They're taking the air off their nose. So if one of these guys tries to slide up, maybe utilize 2nd or 3rd groove, we might see him, make a position swap here as we come to 5 laps to go here. I give a quick shout out to one of our partners. This time, our friends over at TWRS. Team Watson Racing Setups is the leading name in quality, affordability, and professionalism. With a staff of decorated, distinguished, and dedicated setup builders, TWRS delivers top-notch race and championship-winning setups to the iRacing garages of drivers across the simulation community. Check out the full list of services at teamwatsonracing.com.
This is a great battle going on here from 2nd all the way back to 5th. I want to know if these guys do, in fact, if they get racy, will they leave each other enough room? Because obviously, besides besides Daniel Simmons, these are all points towards the playoffs that are up on the line. Will Jeff Chandler get aggressive? Will Jamie not try to get aggressive? Will Richie Coy defend very hard? We'll have to see this time by. They're coming up to 3 laps to go. This is a great battle, and what a dominant performance tonight, too, by Nick Moreau and his return in months to the FTSR Mach-1 Cup.
I just find this really awkward that 2nd through 5th are still just nose to tail. They're not trying to pass each other. It almost looks like they're either content with where they're running for the remainder of this race, or they're doing the super speedway style move where they're going to wait till the final lap to maybe make a move. But right now, just hugging the bottom of the track, especially late into this run. Really did not expect this. You see lap traffic this time with the 87. They're going to have to check up because Michael Bachner doesn't give them all the space there. It's going to cause a little separation between the 84, the 06, 2 laps to go at the line.
2 laps to go. We'll see if they do, in fact, get racy. They have another lap car of Robert Malikian right in front of them. And he gets right in front of Jamie Knopsway. That's going to hinder his progress here to the back bumper of Coy. But this time by, off turn number 4, Nicholas Moreau. White flag is in the air. 1 lap to go. As Jeremy, you would say, presented by nobody. Nicholas Moreau looking to get his 11th career FTSR victory. That 15 has been so stout all night, Jeremy. He has practically been untouchable.
Yeah, he's in a league of his own right now. We're still keeping the camera on these 4. Final corner. Let's see who makes a move here. And it looks like the 84 will make a nose to the outside. Going to go to the 3rd groove here as Nicholas Moreau, the 15, is going to win tonight's Kansas 250. Welcome back to FTSR Mach-1 Performance Cup Series. As they cross the line to 31, does not pass Daniel Simmons for 1/1000th of a second. Could have passed him if he would have gained that much more on the front straightaway, but top 3, the 15 of Moreau, the 19 of Richie Coy, and the 84 of Jamie Knopp. Job well done tonight, guys.
Job, but really, I mean, besides those, I mean, look at this performance tonight from Nicholas Moreau, man. I mean, just an absolutely killer run. You know, we talk about how he's always so fast every time he comes in here and races at these things. I mean, he just somehow, some way able to do it. And I mean, this is his first race back since Kansas back on May 8th. So it's been that long since this 15 machine touched the surface here in the FTSR Mach-1 Performance Cup Series. First win since March 27th at the COTA track, obviously, Circuit of the Americas. Great win tonight for this 15.
Yep, and came back and obviously has not skipped the beat. Started second, finished first. And this is our time to go over the unofficial results here tonight, presented by Sim Racing Points. And Nicholas Moreau takes a P1. Richie Coy is going to finish second. Jamie Knopp in 3rd. Daniel Simmons in 4th. Jeff Chandler in 5th place. Danny LaFleur 6th. Jonathan Vachon 7th. Joshua Johnson 8th. TJ Bartel in 9th. And Chad Lang in the 4 rounds out the top 10.
20, Kyle Milliken, P11, Brian Dublé, 12th, Grossi, Tracy, Allen, Rob Tracy, 16th, Steve Loomis, 17th, Alan Crowell. I don't even think I said his name once tonight. Quiet night for him, but comes home in a top 20 position. Michael Blackner, 19th, and Jose Costa, my pick, sad face emoji. He comes home 20th tonight.
21st, Robert Malikian. 22nd, Brody Hanna. 23rd, Ryan Hedrick. 24th, Colton Gum. 25th place, Chris Beck. 26th, Sherwood Williford. 27th place is the 2 of Alan Duranco. 28th place will be Stephen Hollingsworth. Finishing 29th is James Wallace. 30th, Tony Solari. 31st, Justin Diltz. 32nd, James Torrey. 33rd, Brandon Elder. 34th, Ryan Chapman. And Matthew Vachon of the 26th rounds out tonight's outstanding 35-car lineup for the Kansas 250. We're going full screen commercial. Be back after we gather up tonight's top 3 finishers. And back here, full screen for the Martin Sports post-race show. We got tonight's top 3 gathered up for you tonight, and we're going to lead this thing off with the number 84, Jamie Knopp. Jamie Knopp, this is Jeremy in the Nerd TV booth. You have a copy?
Yes, sir. I got you.
Hey, man, great job out there tonight. Finished third. You got the pole, so barely left the top 5 hardly at all. Excellent drive there. First question, I have to bring it up, is that wreck there in turn 1 about halfway through the race. Kind of caught you a little blindsided there. Did that affect your car at all when you made the contact with the 33?
I don't think so. I had 4 seconds of damage, and it didn't. I mean, it seemed like it drove about the same before and after. But I was just watching the replay here. It looks like we kind of net code and get stuck together, and I never knew we were 3 wide because Brody wasn't beside me. He was beside 33. So then when we got hung together, it kind of just brought me to the right and then put Brody right into the wall. So I hate I was any part of that.
Well, hey, Jamie, congratulations, though, on a 3rd place run, man. You came into tonight 4th in the playoff standings after a great run last week. You had a great run here tonight, man. How are your chances heading into Bristol? You think you can lock one up?
I'm not sure. This is according to how Bristol goes. But, that track could be real tough, or, it could go long green flag runs also. So it's just according if you missed the melee, if it happens.
Yeah, it's a wild card track for sure. But yeah, man, needless to say, great job tonight. You getting yourself well into the qualifying for the top or the round of 12 here in 2 weeks. Floor is yours. Final thoughts before we let you go.
Yeah, I was just hoping to have a good run tonight, just because Bristol is such a wild card. I mean, it's almost like Talladega, except for it's hard to get to the front, where Talladega, if somebody's pushing you, you can get up there at least once maybe. But yeah, I think EPI setups, and that's about it. And thank you guys for broadcasting, and Brody for putting on the lead.
There you go, man. Short and sweet, gets to the point. Congratulations once more on P3. We will see you where you can take a little more of a breather at Bristol.
All right, thank you.
Yes, sir. That was the 84 Pink Magic Chevrolet Camaro from Jamie Knopp. Now it's time to bring in some guy who's very familiar with the scene here in the Nerd TV booth, Richie Coy, P2. Congratulations.
Hey, what's up, nerds?
What is up, dude? That car was really fast. Of course, Nicholas Moreau comes back, and you go, well, I'm going to be struggling here to get this top spot. But he did an excellent job there. I thought at one point maybe he'd be top 5, 3 to 5th place, but you managed to get 2nd place. What do you think was the difference there between you and the 99?
Do we mean the 99 or mean the 15?
Well, the 99, because you and him were running 2nd, 3rd for a decent amount of time there, but the fall off there, I think the setup, I think it was the overall advantage there. But I thought maybe the 99 was going to hang on for a little bit longer with you.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, and that's what we were, all 3 of us were together there. And the 99 started falling off, and I got a run on him. And honestly, that's what ended up kind of killing my run for Nicholas, was that those couple laps it took me to get by the 99. It just it overheated my tires, and he got a 3-second lead. And I could kind of keep pace with him, but not really, because my tires were so hot. And at that point, it was just kind of sit and ride and hope I can still finish 2nd.
Richie, congratulations on 2nd here tonight, man. You and Jeff we talked about this obviously a couple times already, but you and Jeff have been very, very strong. It's kind of hard to tell right now who's the championship favorite for the playoffs here as the weeks wind down. But heading into Bristol next week, man, how do you feel like your chances are on a short track? Something that what most people have been called a wild card is. What are your chances at retaking the points lead possibly?
I don't know. We'll see. Bristol, every track with this car is unique. So as far as short tracks goes, that's probably my worst short track. But I'm locked into the playoffs, and I do have a couple of good tracks in later rounds in the playoffs. So even if I lose a little bit in the first 3 races here to Jeff, overall, I don't think it's gonna. I think we'll still have a great fight going down into Phoenix for both the playoffs and for the Season C championship. Jeff's tough. Nicholas coming back is tough. The Danny in the 99 is going to be tough. Jamie and Danny and all them guys, plus my Fury guys, It's tough, man. It's tough to do this each week.
Yeah, 100% there. And just a quick follow up to for the round of 12, how are you feeling about Texas, Talladega, and the Roval?
I think we'll be okay. Probably top 5 car at Texas, Talladega. Go to Vegas and figure out what your odds are. You could be up front. You can get wrecked on the last lap. You can get wrecked in the beginning. Who knows? So Talladega is this crapshoot. And then we go to the Roval, which I'm all right on the road courses. So I think we'll make it through the round of 12.
Yeah, I believe you, Will. You've been strong all year long, but congrats once again. P2 tonight. And final thoughts before we let you go this evening.
As always, got to thank Tony's mom and dad for watching and hanging out and participating behind the scenes. Thanks to Fury Motorsports. Tonight we kind of went 2 separate ways. The other guys didn't go the way I went, and I guess their cars they ended up as not being as strong as my car was. So that was unfortunate for the team. I'd like to see my guys up here, the Fury Motorsports guys up here, on the podium with me. So, but thanks to them for all the hard work. Thanks to the league. I think it was overall a pretty decent race. So I have to go back and watch it and see how it was. And as always, thank you to the nerds.
Appreciate you. Yeah, in the middle of the race was action packed. So definitely make sure to watch back at least midway through the race. There was a lot of racing, a lot of good stuff out there. But congrats once more, and we'll catch you next week at Bristol.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Yes, sir. That was number 19 there of Richie Coy. Now it's time to bring in the guy who's made his return to FTSR and back to podium P1. Congratulations, Mr. Nicholas Moreau.
Thank you, guys. Long time no talk.
Long time no talk, but back in a very familiar spot here. Man, it's been a while since we've seen you. I know we talked on the chats there last week or so about you having that real life stuff. Well, I'm going to ask you about that first. How's your real life stuff going? And then what'd you do to prepare to get back yourself into a sim racing world in here?
Well, yeah, real life stuff is a bit different because we have to work a lot in the garage instead of just sit in the rig. But well, this season is kind of a roller coaster for us. We broke the car very hard and we started the season well, but championship gone for us. But we didn't give up, and I think just one race left in the championship. So we are working on that. And about the sim, so yeah, normally I don't stop during the summer, but especially for this year, the family is growing up, so I have to choose, some free time, and but I enjoy to be back.
Congratulations, Nicholas, on your first win back since the Kansas race for the Mach-1 Performance Cup Series back in May. And man, since with this dominating performance for you here tonight, will we see you return for the rest of the season as well?
Oh, it was Kansas? I didn't know.
There you
But
go.
yeah, so yeah, but the last time I think I was not as fast than now, but yeah, the car was good for tonight. We practiced a bit more. I didn't know about how the pace would be, but I knew that the long run was good for us. Danny made a lot of laps for us, bringing a lot of data, so it helped for sure. And no mistake for me. I hit my mark every single time, except for a pit. I think I missed the box, but otherwise, yeah, everything well good.
And just one quick question too before we let you go. We noticed the team name change, and our producer Dustin did the assumption of Fred Nick Moreau Esports. Is that correct? Nick, you got a copy?
Oh yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, you exactly right. So FNM Esport stand for Fred and Nick Morrow. Morrow Motorsport is brand name, but before that we were FNM Racing, in the real life. So I just bring the esport name at the end for the US side team. We kept the Maroon Motorsport for locally, but yeah, it's just a small change for us.
Okay, I love the inspiration behind that. But man, yeah, floor is yours. Final thoughts before we let you go this evening.
Yeah, thank you. I'll say thanks to Transit, obviously, and friends and family watching the race tonight. Thanks to you guys for the league. Very fun to race every single time, and hopefully see you next time.
All right, man. Yeah, we'll catch you next week at Bristol if you're going to be racing.
Should be. We'll see. It's all depending about see if I have time to connect before the race, but we will make some lap for sure.
Okay, awesome, man. Well, yep. Celebrate the rest of the evening. Congratulations, P1, on your welcoming back race here.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And that was number 15, Nicholas Moreau, making a start here. And you said about 4 to 5 months and taking home the checker flags, Jason. Is that expected?
But I will say this: he did not pull out to nearly a dominant lead as other tracks. Like I think that now, since his time away from the sim, everybody's gotten a lot better, especially Richie Coy. Jamie Knopf, somebody who hasn't really raced against. I just so many people just can't even name right now. I'm also so focused on the Jets game right now, but man, these guys, this is the FTSR, man. These guys come out here to play every single week, 2, sometimes 3 nights a week. They mean business, and for Nicholas Moreau, sometimes just a walk in the park. But tonight, I feel like he had to work for it a little bit more. Hopefully, though, we'll get to see him here the rest of the season because I would like to see if anybody can challenge him.
100% there. And Dustin, Jason at one point said that we kept you working back there.
Well, I don't know if it was you guys or if it was the drivers. I tell you what, these boys put on one hell of a show. I will tell you right now, Kansas is easily in my top 5 favorite tracks as far as ovals. I mean, this I will call races here if they are anything like the Martin Sports Truck Series last week and the Mach-1 Performance Cup Series this week. I'll call races here every week. I mean, it was an amazing show. Drivers put on, I mean, just the 3 wide. I mean, hell, there was, 7 laps straight there of 3 wide. Once 3 wide ended, it picked up somewhere else. I mean, it was amazing. And they kept it, clean. I mean, the cautions we had, I almost, with as much 3 wide racing as they were doing, I almost would have expected more. And these drivers put on a hell of a show. I mean, they shined tonight. So, congratulations, hats off to every driver out there. Now, on to Bristol. Probably one of my favorite short tracks. It's it's going to be interesting. We'll leave it at that.
Yeah, 100% there. And yeah, the only 2 wrecks that were 3 wide related were they were 2 wide until the very last moment where a car shifted up and all of a sudden, boop, there were 3 wide. So can't too much blame it on that notion, but the 3 wide was just amazing here. And sadly, we have to leave this facility and move on to Bristol, but Bristol's also going to produce some excellent racing, as you just talked about. So, looking forward to that. We'll see it on Wednesday. But we're going to bring this broadcast to a close. We're going to thank our sponsors one last time before we close this thing out entirely. First and foremost to the league, FTSR. Thank you guys for letting us do this for so long. And sign up today. We had 35 cars. We need 5 more, and we would have maxed out this field of 40. So join us today at FTSR.net. Mach-1 Performance, your race car fabrication shop that's produced champions, winners of all sorts of racing divisions. Find them at Facebook at facebook.com/Mach-1 Performance. Sim Racing Points, your all-inclusive league points management system that allows you to completely track your league stats and more with one simple upload of the race export. And find them at simracingpoints.com. Martin Sports, top quality apparel to make you look stylish and feel comfortable. See their whole apparel up at martinsports.gg. iRacing iFlag, get your notifications just a fraction of a second faster without ever leaving the focus from the racing action, and find them at iRacingIFlag.com. The Butt Kicker, the ultimate feel from the race car with the haptic response system from their products, and you're going to find them at thebuttkicker.com. Team Watson Racing Setups, quality professionally built setups for your asphalt oval needs. Visit them at teamwatsonracing.com. Dusty Pete's Gifts and Collectibles hobby shop with a whole lot more. If collecting is the game, Dusty Pete's is the name, and go to their website at dustypete's.com. And lastly, Roasted Gems at roastedgems.com. Premium coffee beans roasted just for you, to make sure to start your day the right way with coffee from them. All right, it's going to close us out here tonight. Tomorrow night, live RSR Next Gen Cup Series, going to take it to Kansas, I do believe, as well. And then we'll see the Martin Sports Truck Series on Wednesday, all at the same time, 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 Central. Make sure to join us tomorrow night. And again, until next time, you guys stay safe and get your nerd on.